Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
Okay. Hey, we're back, which is good news, right? It's good news if we're back. For everybody except for one Mr. Bryan Kohberger, who, according to my records, is now cruising at a comfortable 22,000 feet, traveling at 256 knots, headed to Idaho, and I believe that's his next stop. Let's see, Michelle Stark, congratulations. You take over the internet for the rest of the day, being first in chat. That is your privilege, right, nay, responsibility. Congratulations. Everything IP related is now firmly in your control. So please don't let us down. Thank you for being first in chat. Appreciate that. Also, we have Katrina. Rowdy's in the house. Anything on at 4? Well, RA is on. Perfect. It's pretty good. Good timing. Michelle, yes. Oh, did I win? You can term it as a win, but a lot of people count it as a loss, depending on how things go. You might have won something. That's for sure. We're in trouble. I barely mastered setting the clocks on my stove. Okay, well, it might be a rough day. That's all I'm saying. It might be rough, but we're back. We're back on the record here as I have to now switch my plugs around because I told you I let somebody borrow the plug that I needed, and I want to have the feed from the iPad working on camera 3. We have a couple things that happened since we talked last. First of all, obviously we've located the plane, and a lot of people, I think 4,308 people are tracking it right now. I'm one of them, and we'll be able to bring that up here on screen if you do want to watch that. We do have the plane flying there. I'm not sure. I need to turn off those notifications, so whatever pops up, you don't get, because you'd hate to get the notifications that I get. They're not true crime related always, so that would be very, very disturbing. So here we have looks like Rapid City in Iowa. The plane right here in the center of the screen. If we zoom in, it doesn't get much bigger here. I can take a 3D view if you'd like, which will simulate it. I believe it actually shows a different plane in the air, but it gives us just an idea as we load the screen here of what it might look like if you were on board and looking out the window as we're flying over the fields of Iowa. But anyway, we're gonna keep an eye on this flight as Bryan is headed to, I believe, Pullman. That's where we think he's going to land. I know they tried to keep the secret. The plane registration is all hidden, but they took off, and we had people on the ground there that saw them take off, and we followed them all along in the air. And so they'll be surprised when there's a big welcoming party for him when he lands on the ground. But meanwhile, something else has happened as well. We had an update in the, let's see, let me take camera 2, just one second here. Camera 2, here we go. We had a new video drop. This is the traffic stop number 1. And I've only got this segment of it. I'm not sure who filmed it in vertical mode. I don't know of any police department that actually films using the phone camera on their chest, but that's apparently what we get, and it's a little bit different. So we're going to watch that all the way through as we get to see the first stop where Bryan and his dad are stopped in Indiana, and we'll listen along. A little more conversation on this one and a better view as well.
Hello. How you doing? How y'all doing today? Good. Take a look at your driver's license real quick if I could. See, he's right up on that van, man. He was right up on the back end of that van. Pulled you over for tailgating. Is this your car? Okay. Cool. Where are you headed?
We're going to get some Thai food.
We're coming from WSU, and we're scanning early
what's WSU?
Yeah, I go to the university basically. And we're listening to this incident that was occurring up there. There was a shooting incident. That is SWAT team and everything.
They had a security incident.
So we're okay. I'm having a hard time hearing you because of the traffic. So you're coming from Washington State University, and you're going where? Oh.
We're going to be going to Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're slightly punchy because we're driving for hours.
I know it's noisy. We'll go over this.
Days.
We're driving. Well, almost a day.
Okay. And what did you say about some SWAT team thing? Or
Yeah, there was a mass shooting and everything. We don't know if it was a
where?
This was essentially
This is bizarre in so many ways. We're going to talk about that in just a
It's
second.
horrifying because he's going to the university, you know what I mean?
So y'all work at the university there?
I actually do work there.
Oh.
PhD in criminal.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that incident. Just yesterday, or?
This happened about an hour and a half ago. We're still wrapping it up for investigating. I'm not sure there's two shootings because they did shoot somebody.
I see.
And then you don't know about that actually. They were there, they were shooting out of the window or something.
Interesting.
Okay, so that's all we get. Okay, so let's we can go back and we can watch some of this in slow motion if we need. There's not a lot we can see, but let's take full screen here. There are a couple things that I noticed in this video. First of all, let me. I think I didn't do roll call at all. So everyone, just mark yourself here if you're here, and then if you're late, just put late in chat with the exclamation point right before it, and we'll know. Anyone else notice that the cop doesn't call in Bryan's name to check for the warrants despite getting his license? Yes, we noticed that. That's interesting. He needs to stop talking. Yes. This is random. He says, "Where are y'all headed?" Okay, they're driving there. They've got Washington plates. They just got pulled over in Indiana. And Bryan says, "Oh, we're just gonna go get some Thai food." Really? And then his dad's like, "Actually, we're coming from Washington State." And Bryan's like, he pulls the "oh crap" type thing. And immediately Bryan says, "Yeah, there was a security incident there this morning, SWAT team and everything." And the cop's like, "What are you talking about? Where are you guys going?" And the dad's like, "Oh, we're coming from Washington State. We're going to drive." And he's like, and Bryan's again, "We're going to get some Thai food." He's like, "Yeah, we're going to get some lunch because we've been driving, but we're headed to Pennsylvania." The dad spills all, right? And he's like, "Yeah, so we're going to Pennsylvania." It just says it is their car, everything. But this whole SWAT team incident that he brings up, he's like, "Yeah, there was this thing and it was at WSU. You can look at the news about the day he left that morning. There was some incident with a SWAT team, barricaded suspect, and I believe the SWAT team did end up unaliving the suspect." And so that's what he's talking about. But why he brings it up on the side of the road in Indiana, I have no idea, other than he's trying to deflect maybe the conversation from the direction it was going, which is exactly where he's coming from. YouTube, come on, YouTube. What's the problem here? We're getting some errors here. It seems to be working now. Okay, let me know if there's any problems on the stream. And quite honestly, Michelle, if there are any problems, it falls in your ball. The ball falls in your court. I need you to have that fixed as the owner of the internet today. Good afternoon, Weather Watch. Good to have you here. Welcome back. Tater Tot, Myra's House, Mac, Rowdy, Katrina, a bunch of y'all are here. Alexis, good to have you here, Alexis, Marissa, Denise, Carl. Does gag order mean they redact the PCA? Carl, great question. I don't believe so. I believe if the PCA comes out redacted, it would have been redacted anyway. I don't think it will affect the gag order at all, but or affect the PCA at all directly that way. For that reason, they may still have some things redacted. Hey, Addicts, good to have you here, Ven. Rare afternoon stream coming at you. KLRN, hello, all you happy people. Hello from Sweden, Anna. Thank you for connecting from Sweden. How's the weather over there? Happy New Year to you. Golden Girls here, Kimberly, Alexis, everybody. Okay, so we've got that video which compared you compare the two, and both of them. I don't know what it is about Indiana officers, but neither one of them, man, it's still, let me see, are you guys seeing any buffering issues? Sorry, I've got a squirrel moment here, but it's not liking the stream status. I'm trying to see why. 6 megabits per second, that's pretty good. Okay, we'll figure it out. Anyway, the plane that we're following, that we believe he's in, it just took a little bit of a dogleg turn here. Let me bring that up and show you what that looks like. Oops, that's the wrong one. How about there? Oh, too big in that picture. This is the plane. We believe it's probably about a 6 to 12 passenger type setup. A Pilatus PC-12 NG is what we know about it. And it looks to be losing altitude. It's coming down to 14,000 feet. They may be making a stop along the way to check to get some fuel. They're dropping rapidly. If we watch the, let's see, just right above my picture, you can see the altitude, 13,700, 13,700, 650, 600. They're coming down. Let's take a look at what they may be looking for. Let's see, they'd be approaching Rapid City. So Rapid City might be a refueling stop. They've already stopped and refueled another location as well. Let's see if we go all the way back here. I think it was, they took off, where was that? They refueled in Champaign, just almost directly south of Chicago, just a ways. Just south of Chicago and west of Indianapolis. So that was their first stop after they took off out of Scranton, Pennsylvania was the origin location of this plane. So we'll keep an eye on them. It looks like they're coming in to land in Rapid City. We do have an airport right out here, Rapid City Regional Airport. It's a small one just on the outskirts of town, just to the east side. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think they'll be landing, give them a little bit to refuel, and they'll be back up in the air. So Riley says hi to everyone, and she wubs you all. Riley, thanks for watching. Give Toxic a hard time for us. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Debbie says, Recovery Addicts, mine is probably my fault. I've gone over my allotted time. It would be a shame if that little plane was hitting some turbulence just to keep him awake. Yeah, elbow, nudge, nuds. What a shame if that happened. Macho Taco, please read my last comment and please tell me what you think. Please and thank you. Yes, what did I miss? Let me scroll up here. I believe law enforcement will take a flight plan that will limit Bryan's time with the affidavit as much as possible. I'm not sure what you're getting at. You're taking a flight plan that will limit his time with the affidavit. He does not have the affidavit right now. They will not serve him with that until he lands on the ground in Idaho. Basically, once he does that, it will be a lot like what we see out of Knoxville, where we have those streams where they appear before a judge, a magistrate. So he'll be in custody. It'll probably be a virtual connection. I have not been able to find a link on that. I don't think they televise those out of Idaho. But he will then be told what the charges are against him. There'll be probably a bond hearing where he'll be held without bond initially, but there'll probably be a bond hearing scheduled where they'll reaffirm that, and then we'll go from there. But let's see. Michelle says I'm already failing miserably at my job apparently, but hey, you can do better, Michelle. There's always a chance to do better. Okay, did I miss any other questions? I know there was quite a bit here in buffering bad. It seems to be fixed now, so I'm not sure. I've got gigabit internet just for this, and this is a little depressing. Okay, at the screen, stop buffering, throwing the gavels. Yes, please do that. That does fix it. Okay, so Bryan looked like he was going to crap himself. His dad had a normal pink skin color, right? His behavior's weird. It's weird, not in light of what we know about him, but just the police officer's like, what are you talking about? Why are you, I'm coming up here saying, hey, where are you headed from? Can I have your license? And you're talking to me about a SWAT situation, halfway across the country. But just bizarre. All right. Dad looks normal. Son looks worried. I saw that same thing. Had something to do with Thai food, what we could hear. Yeah, he says, we're going to go get some Thai food. Where are you headed? We're getting some Thai food. We're just driving from Washington to the middle of Indiana for this. Apparently, they've got a good Thai restaurant around those parts. Buffering stopped. Thank you very much for patience through that. Hopefully, it's gone. We have had a bit of weather come through. which with Weather Watch told us a little bit about that this morning. He thought it was going to stay down in South Carolina. We've had just a few gusts and some thunderstorms. A nice big downpour actually happened. Brian made them stop for Thai food. Yep. Riley's the channel's youngest fan. Comments not coming on screen. Thank you, Gordon. I will fix that. The comments are now coming on the screen. Thanks for the reminder. I forget to do that sometimes. Let's see. We got here. Check the burner phone. I sent a link. I look at the last thing I sent. Says Courtney. I've actually got the burner phone loaded up on my PC right now because, well, that's just how it works. Let's see. Courtney, you say TMZ has pictures of BK escorted to plane after refueling. This was going to be in, let's see, a pit stop in Illinois. Okay, that matches what shows up on our system. And yes, there he is. That's definitely him. So that's a confirmation if I've ever seen one. He's flying private to Idaho right now to face murder charges. It seems likely the teeny tiny plane he's on needed a break mid-flight, they say. Ditto for the suspect himself, right? This is not, there's no lavatory on board on the vehicle, on the aircraft this size, unless it's of the porta potty variety. But they did march him just right into the pilot's lounge, right there off the little regional runway. Looks like it's a plane that has 5 rows of windows in the back. So it matches the description of what we see on. Let's see. So it's got 4 on one side, 5 on the other. So when we look at this plane on this feed, oops, not that one. This one right here. This picture right above me. That's basically what the plane looks like. The paint job's a little bit different. The one he's flying on has a white top and a blue belly with like a gold stripe down it. But that's pretty much what he's flying on. So that makes sense. And you've got 2 of me now. Okay, so TMZ, that's a confirmation that they've got those images. I'm not going to put them up there. TMZ is not really nice about sharing, but that's good. Thank you for that update, Courtney. I appreciate that. And we've got some other stuff. Looks like you can find those on Twitter as well. Who sent those to me? Who was this? Was this Pauline? The bad part about this is when I pull up the burner phone on my computer, I lose all my contact names. So I've got your name saved in on my phone, but I just see numbers on my computer. So I can't share that because I'm obviously not going to share your number on the live stream. That would not be very responsible of me. So I apologize. I think it's Pauline who just sent me this. Hey, she said, first traffic stop body cam and Brian speaks in it. I said, I was just watching that with Mrs. Ari. We were literally watching it as the text came in. And then she sent me the TMZ link on Twitter. It has some of the pictures as well. So that's good fun. Let's see. Let me close this one down. There we go. All right. Let's see where we are in chat. Who has some questions here? Now I need Thai food. Yeah, all we have to do is talk about it, and it's time to get it. Speaking of being triggered by things, this is your warning. We have a little bit of ASMR coming because I need a little bit of water, and so we're going to listen in as I refill my True Crime Addict mug. Got the blue one still from this morning. There we go. So now everyone needs a break, and that's okay. You can go take a break. We'll be right back. I may have had a little nap after lunch. MB, I had a little nap. Half an hour. That's all I allowed myself. He should have said tacos instead of Thai food, right? I'm up for Chinese today, actually. There's a Chinese store not far from me down the road on the main north-south thoroughfare in the countryside where I'm at. And I love little family-owned Chinese shops. They, especially some of the authentic, the food they serve there is just fantastic. But the language barrier often shows up when you're looking at these stores. The menus are all in Chinese, which I'm fine with. I can order by picture. That's fine. But they actually named their store. They called it No One Chinese. And No One Chinese. I think they meant number one Chinese, but they instead of number they put NO. But not the period. So it just says No One Chinese. And I guess they don't allow anyone Chinese there. So good food though. Okay, where are we? Yep, we had a little bit of a bathroom break there after that ASMR moment. It was very refreshing. Just saw this. Do we know for sure he's in this plane? Yes, sorry, it's been asked and answered. No, Kathy, that's a great question. We knew it took off in Scranton, and we have information that it's owned by the state police there. And so that's the information we had. But the confirmation we got is when it landed for refueling in Illinois. TMZ has pictures of him walking to the airport, of being ushered out of the plane and then going back in. So we know that plane has now taken off. Let's see. It's down. It's under 6,000 feet now. It's 5,800 as it's circling around. It's just getting to a landing pattern to land at Rapid City Regional Airport. So if anybody's in Rapid City Regional Airport and you head out there right now, you might be able to get a glimpse, as it looks like they're landing for a little. They're getting a bathroom break of their own, really. Chandra says, Weather Watch. Sorry, I'm clicking on everything but your comment. Chandra says, Weather Watch, I've stopped egging the local weatherman's house since I met you. Does anybody think the cops pulled BK over to have a look at the inside? Sharon, I think yes. Everybody knows that there was a bolo out there for white Hyundai Elantras, and there are 22,000 of them. I mean, every state, every cop, every shift is going to run into a Hyundai Elantra that's white that sort of meets that description. So I think every cop that sort of saw one found a reason to pull them over. And tailgating too close, that's probably a good enough reason. If we watch the video of the first one, as the first body camera, it's like that was one of the lamest reasons. Why? Okay, so this is really frustrating. Let's kill a couple feeds here. I think I've got too many downloads happening at the same time because the stream is dropping. What's happening here? Give me just a second. Let me see if we can play a little song here while I try to hunt down the source of who's hogging all my internet. If my neighbors are downloading the Lord of the Rings trilogy on my Wi-Fi, I'm going to be pretty upset. Miss Briss says, I love these chat features you have set up. Makes a fun channel even more fun. Thank you, Miss Briss. We try to balance the features with the straight facts. But hold up just a second. Let me run and step away from the desk, see if I can and find out what's happening to my bandwidth here, what's happening in the house. And make sure my cables are working properly because something's not connected right if this keeps buffering. Let's see. Yeah, buffering again. I have to get more internet. Okay, we'll fix it. I'll be right back. Hold on. Okay, this is so dial-up. Yes. We'll turn the music down. The buffering is so AOL. This is driving me nuts. Gigabit internet speed, and it should be doing a little bit better than this. Okay, so the plane is landing. It's on the approach right now. Altitude 3,000 feet, just coming in. I think it's actually probably a little lower than that, under 3,000 now. It's coming in to land right there at the airport. So we'll keep an eye on that. Where's my squirrel? Tag. I will get there. I promise I'll get there. It's just we're not quite ready yet. I've got to figure out what's the holdup here on any of my connections. Let me kill this. I've got to check all my systems because something is downloading a lot right now. Okay. I'm going to stop one of the downloads. I don't need that one. And let's see, I don't need this one. Okay, so we had a couple extra things going that I didn't need. We'll see if that clears it up a little bit better. Okay, it's working now. So nobody, the kids are on the PC. There were kids. No, I think I've got almost all the devices in my house in front of me right now. I know they've got one iPad over there for piano lessons.
Subject matter jurisdiction.
We probably should do that. Brian's going to be under Idaho's subject matter jurisdiction in just a little bit. The fish and chips gal did it. Yep. Okay, we'll get you your squirrel eventually. It's going to happen. I just don't know when. Jiggle the handle. It always works for me. The neighbor's getting your Wi-Fi. Lock that network down. Richard, oh my goodness. Can I have just a side moment to complain about my internet for just a minute? I upgraded to gigabit internet, and with that, they gave me a new modem, which is provided by them. I can't provide my own with this connection for some reason. And they go ahead and say, here's your Wi-Fi, here's your password. It's also written on the machine itself on the bottom if you turned over. And by the way, you're not allowed to change it. And not only that, I lost control. I can't control my own network. I can't connect to the router and go in and set things up and do my MAC address filtering and port forwarding or anything. And so I'm not very happy. I'm still trying to work that out with them, seeing if I can get around that. Sending the internet police over. Thank you very much, Georgia. That's why I ran out of the internet. It was better when I left. I know it should be better now. I've stopped two downloads that were happening. I'll run a quick test on the speed to see what I'm getting here. Quick speed test. Over 300 on the there we go. 300 on the download, which it should be 1,000. That's what I'm paying for. Not any further than I already have. That's all we're going to do today. And yeah, it's super slow on the upload. We're only getting 15. It should be much more, like 50. So that's our problem. The upload's got some problems. You pulled out the red wire. That does it every time. If we're really good, maybe it'll stop buffering. Which airport? Greg, great question. They are at the Rapid City Regional Airport. It shows they've taxied now off the runway, and they're over there next to the airport. Let me see if I can bring that on. Switch to 3. Here we go. So this is the the Rapid City Regional Airport. That's what we get. So ground speed is 0, and they're going to sit here, maybe refuel a little bit, and get back up in the air. But it's not the tiniest of airports. I mean, they have an enterprise rental car center there. It's funny because you've got the Rapid City Airport here, and then just off to the side, check this out. You've got Dan's airport. I'm not sure who Dan is, but he has his own airport right next to the other airport. He's that important, and it's you can probably throw a rock from one runway and hit the other. But he has his own airport right there. Way to go, Dan! You be you, man. That's awesome. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that as that develops while they're refueling and getting a little bit of a potty break. Let's see. I hope Bryan Kohberger represents himself. It's not Whataburger, it's Kohberger. But I can see why you said Whataburger. Now you need a Whataburger. Factory reset the router. It will take 10 minutes to reboot. That's what it does every time. If you wouldn't keep playing Oregon Trail, then your internet wouldn't be dying of dysentery. I did play Oregon Trail, both as a kid, like the original version, we're talking monochrome, as well as the newer version, which you can also get on the iPad. Internet police is my first offense. First offense, capital punishment. That's what we do. Okay. Still a good stream. I didn't know you could track the flight. You can. They try to hide it. I mean, you look at the flight, all this on the screen there, all the NA stuff. Let me give you a comparison. Let's find another flight who's nearby as we zoom out. Here, this guy right here, just flying up north. Actually, that's not giving us anything as well. That's a bad example. Give me just a second. We'll find somebody. They just barely took off. It might not be populated that yet for them. So here's one guy right over here. So here's Memphis to Spokane, a plane, FedEx plane. We can see that just crossing the border, basically. just west of Rapid City. And you can see that their scheduled time, their estimated time, how many miles to go. It's a Boeing 757, the tail registration, the country of origin, serial number, how many years, how old the plane is. All this information is available basically on almost every commercial flight. But the government on their planes, especially this little guy down here on the ground, which has disappeared. We'll pull it back up here in just a moment. They don't share that information at all. So we'll hold tight here and see what happens. We'll watch this airport, see if they swap planes and try to trick us. But let's switch to one here. There we go. Okay, and let's pull up the flight one more time. Yep, the plane has disappeared because it might have landed or is out of coverage. It has landed. That's why it's not there right now. So we'll pull it back up once it's refueled and take off. Someone commented on this morning video that 3 more similarly committed murders also connected to vegan restaurants. Do you know anything about that? CG, I think this one is a stretch. It's one of those rumors that I believe there are some other murders out there, but saying that they're similarly committed, you basically got stabbings, right? And the whole vegan restaurant connection, I'm not sure how solid that is. So it may check out. They may have something there, but the police haven't said anything about it. And if it was that obvious, I think we would hear a little more. Let's see. Toxic, you're getting. Let's see. I ordered us pizza and wings. Is that poutine? Poutine? You're an Idaho girl, huh? Or I mean, a Canada girl. And fried zucchini for dinner. The poutine, I don't know. I've never had that. Autocorrect drives me batty. It looks like, it says pouting on my screen. Looks like the Red Baron. Yes, but he's not flying it. Let's see. Everyone's coming to your house for dinner, which is great. TMZ Instagram chat about BK is really nasty, I can imagine. A little toxic environment there. Of course, the whole way they run their organization does draw an interesting crowd. Let's put it that way. Yes, we saw TMZ got video of BK getting on plane today. Pauline, some of the pictures they got were actually of the refueling in Illinois. And that's one of the ways we were able to verify that the plane we're tracking that's landed now in Rapid City at the regional airport is the right plane. I see Snoopy's doghouse flying over Rapid City right now. How can you see all that, says Eric. Eric, this is an app called Flight Radar 24. It costs, I think, costs about $10 a year to get the feed. It is publicly available information, but you sort of have to pay to get access to it because nobody puts it together in a neat format for free. But if you were to take your phone outside, you can actually do a similar thing where you ask Siri what flights are overhead and point your phone at the sky, and it will tell you what planes are flying over, and it accesses this same data. It's just not as clean and pretty as Flight Radar 24. This is an app you can get on your iPhone, your iPad. It's available on the website as well. They've got a 7-day free trial if you want to try it just for now and then cancel. I wish they were sponsoring the show, but they're not. But they do make a good app. If you factory reset the router, it will reset the password to nothing and give you access to the settings. This one is, I think, hard-coded, Jim Bob. It's the password is actually like etched on the serial number for the device. So it's in the firmware. I'd have to get to it at that level, which it doesn't. I'm not that interested in it. I'm just a little frustrated is all. Let's see, Sioux City. Chances are it's Lewiston then. I'll send pics. If I can free up some time. Sioux City, Rapid City is what I've got. Regional airport. Okay, we just had a plane take off. Oh, that's a different one. That's from Rapid City to Denver. That's not the right flight. But we'll see what takes off out of that airport. Even Santa can't hide from NORAD. We're going to track everybody. Let's see. Factory reset means removing all password data. I don't know if I can do that on this one. I've done some pretty hard resets on it using the reset feature. Hold down the button, all the little pin things. It really locks down access, Jim Bob. I wish I could get into it a little bit better. I already yelled at RA for not liking poutine. It's terrible. I'm sorry. I haven't had the opportunity to try it. When the plane is done with Bryan, they can pick me up for my internet mishap trial. Yes, and that's going to be a capital trial, just so you know. It's a serious offense. I wonder if his attorney is on that plane, and I'm wondering if he's making any spontaneous utterances. Oh, to be a fly right now. Courtney, I would say no on both counts. First of all, the pictures we saw looked like they don't have a bunch of extra passengers. It's pretty much
just subject matter jurisdiction.
Not any further. I've given the written order on that, and that's where I'm going to leave it. The attorney that he had in PA was just for PA. That was just for his extradition hearing, basically. And for any interrogation that happened in PA. He's probably not going to see that attorney again ever.
For the record, I don't consent to that name.
Well, that's what I'm going to call you. So he's going to have 2 new attorneys when he gets in Idaho that will handle his case from there forward. Okay. That plane is so conspicuous by its anonymity. There are quite a few that are anonymous. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, just try to see what's happening. And nothing's taken off. It'll probably be half an hour at least before it takes off. Right around that time period. They've got to get the gassed up. Everyone gets a little bit of break, get a drink, maybe a little bag of chips, get comfy, and then back on the plane. Monkeyworks is a great channel that follows a lot of flights. That sounds awesome. Okay, no buffering here. We might have fixed it. I shut down a couple of the feeds, the incoming feeds that I wasn't needing at the time. Let's see if this one is still...
read to me this is...
Yep, I've got another feed coming in that I don't need. We're going to stop that one. Okay. It was an old feed that I don't need. Okay, that'll free it up even more. Okay. So we should be in good shape now. Mississippi Raptors Reptile says, the girls were okay with your soothing voice and were eating just fine, but they drew the line when you started playing the music. Had to turn my volume completely down. Sorry. No more music for a little bit. How fast will they have him in front of a judge? Eric, probably as soon as they land.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
As soon as they land, we'll have somebody in front of the magistrate. And then Thai food for everybody. I can't wrap my head around gravy on fries. Yeah, it seems like a sin. I mean, I put gravy on potatoes. The two go together. I'm not saying that, but fried potatoes, for me, I'm a fry sauce or a ketchup sort of guy. What if they change planes because we know it's being watched? Well, if they do, they still have to take off. Oh, let's see. What's this? Who just took off right here? Another plane just took off. Let's see who just took off. Let's take a look at this. Ready? Right here, just out of Rapid City Airport. I don't think this is him, because first of all, we've got a tail number. We don't know where he's flying to, but if somebody wants to write this one down, it looks like registration is N1203W. It's a 43-year-old plane. That's a pretty old plane. I don't think they'd be using that for the police. That's a very old, probably private plane. Let's see. Yeah, and it's much slower. I mean, it is a dual prop, but it's not going to be going the same cruising speed their previous jet was going. Let's see. All right. Yeah. So I don't think they're going to change planes. Everyone knows where they are, and it's basically there's only one way back out of that airport, and that's by taking off. So, Eric, yes, that was a Darryl Brooks soundbite. It's funny. We have a couple of those in here that we use. We have a couple sound bites, and we'll probably set up a few more that are pretty funny. We've got another one from Knoxville that we really like that sounds like this.
There's a lawsuit.
Yeah, that comes from a video we aired just a couple weeks ago at a police chase that ended with a dog biting the wrong person.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
Yeah, that was pretty fun for everybody but that person, I might add. Okay, so let's see. Puts Michelle in suitcase. No, we know how inside a suitcase goes. Danielle, he hasn't landed in Idaho yet. Right now they're refueling in Rapid City. And this is not the plane. We're waiting for the right plane to take off. So we're watching. They're on this airport right here on the tarmac. Yeah, I can't show anything else, but we're waiting there for that to take off. And let's get me on the screen there. Do we still have? Yes, we're good. I wonder what's going on through his mind on this flight. Probably, I wish I had some good Thai food. That's probably it. I bet he's in cuffs for the entire thing, unless they have to maybe undo him a little bit for while he gets his bathroom break, which is accompanied. He's not on his own. This guy cracks me up every time. Now you want Arctic Circle. Okay, sound bites are funny. They are. What'd you do? Me? I followed an airplane. Don't judge me. Hey, we like what we do here. This is fun. Irene says, wait, recovery addict, you live in the South and never put sausage gravy on fries? You're missing out. Okay, so sausage gravy for me goes on biscuits, and I will eat that more often than I should. Biscuits and gravy, that is a thing that if they don't have in heaven, I'm not going, quite frankly. It is really, really good. But the French fries and gravy, I just haven't tried. I guess that's it. I shouldn't knock it till I try it. Greg says, research the defense attorney representing BK. Top notch. Prosecution have their hands full. The attorney, the lady, is it a lady? I can't remember her name. I think he's already been assigned one. He'll have two because this is a capital case. So he'll have a couple people representing him. The sheriff said they have to have special food for him. Yes, and Idaho said they're going to accommodate his dietary requests, which, as we know, he's a vegan, like an ultra vegan. But not just that, he refuses to eat food that's been cooked in pots and pans that have touched meat. I'm not sure how closely Idaho is going to follow that request, but they're at least going to get him vegan food. Well, Mama says, didn't get the notification, but I found you anyway. That's great. We're sitting here waiting for the plane to take off. It's sitting on the ground. It flew from Illinois. Well, it flew first from Scranton, Pennsylvania to Illinois. From Illinois, it flew to the Rapid City Regional Airport. I'm not sure why they didn't land in Dan's airport right next door, because that would be nice and secure. There's nothing out there, but they landed at the Rapid City Regional Airport. So we'll keep an eye on this when they take off. We'll watch for him. This guy who took off a little bit earlier is headed to Sioux Falls, a little ways away, and he just a little hop, skip, and a jump, and he's going to land there. But so we'll watch when their plane takes off, and we'll track it the rest of the way. This should be, looking at the map, this should be the last stop. He basically gets out of Iowa, gets out of South Dakota. Have I been saying Iowa? Gets out of South Dakota, and crosses over Wyoming, and then most of Idaho, and then he's going to land. So this should be the last fuel stop, the last pit stop. So use the bathroom one more time. Make sure you can make the rest of the trip, and we should be good. Mr. Kohberger. I keep a lookout. Julianne says, recovery addict, I kept a lookout for you on TV all afternoon, but I couldn't find you. I could only get you on my phone. Have you been on long? Right now, we've been on for about 43 minutes. We took a break, we were on for about 4 hours this morning, and then we took a break and then came back for this. We'll stick on here until he lands, and then we're going to be following, hopefully very closely, the actual the website for when the paperwork shows up, because we think it'll be almost like instantaneous, like it's triggered by an event happening. As soon as he gets before the judge, it should show up. It's all digitized. Put a little A1 in your sausage gravy. That's a secret trick to make it the best. A1 steak sauce, huh? I've not tried that. Okay, biscuits and gravy. What about pickles and gravy? Pickles are good all the time for those smiley faces. Pickles are always good, especially if they're sausage maple bourbon pickles, which are a personal favorite of mine. And if you have not tried them, I'm imploring you right now, just stop whatever you're doing other than watching the live stream and go get those at Walmart, because that's where you buy them. They're $3.84, and it will change your life. You will have almost a spiritual experience the first time you have those pickles. They are that good. Lori is late, but you are here. We'll accept it. Thanks for being here. A little bit of food talk here. They're stopping for Thai food. We Belgians put mayonnaise on the fries, and we invented the fries, not the French. It's our national food. So Bart, the mayonnaise on the fries, we take it one step further where I was raised, and we take the mayonnaise and we mix it with ketchup and a little bit of pickle juice, and we make something called fry sauce, and it's fantastic. So I'm not opposed to just mayonnaise, but add a little ketchup. It'll change your life too. Who gave Weather Watch handcuffs? Weather Watch, are you cuffing people over there? Okay, we're on. Wow, we were on this morning. He has taken off already. That's a long time flying. It is, and it's a smaller plane. So he was doing what was like 250 knots or something. What's the? We'll ask Siri here. Hey Siri, convert 250 knots to miles per hour. We'll try to get a ground speed conversion here. Oh.
I found this on the web.
Convert 250 knots to miles per hour.
That would be 287.69 miles per hour.
So 287 is just under 300 miles an hour. A lot of airlines can fly faster than that, but this is the option they went with. I am actually surprised. I thought it was going to be the U.S. Marshals, but they didn't. What if they offered BK the exit seat? Probably a window, I'm thinking. A window is where they'd put him. Keep watching for a plane here. Cuff Hiccup says TMC does have picks up from the airport. Yes, that's how we know that we've got the right plane. That was the confirmation we needed to really be 100% on board with tracking this plane. Vegan by day, stabber by night. High speed drifter. That's how he rolls. Okay. Every time my husband flies from West Virginia to Coeur d'Alene, it's always an all-day event. I guess it isn't crazy that. Let's see the.
Keep up the good work.
Hey. I'm not sure who said that. Let me see. Cough Hiccup, thank you so much for the super chat. We'll try. Thank you for being here. It's a lot of you guys in chat really make this really fun and easy for me because you guys are amazing internet sleuths. And you reach out to me on the burner phone. If you do see something happening, if you see a court case, if you see an update that's going on that you think we should know about, you can text me on the burner phone. And if you ever lose the number, anytime we're live, just go ahead and put !burner in chat, and it will respond with the burner phone number, which may change from time to time. That's how burner phones are. You might have to throw it away if they get if they're on to us. But thank you very much, Cough Hiccup. Appreciate the support. Deep fried pickles. Okay, so I got you guys talking about food, and that's an easy way to distract everybody. I'm trying to see if there are any other questions related to Bryan and his situation that we can answer while we wait for his plane to take off. Let's see. Amber's sending me stuff. Let me take a look at the messages here. YouTube feeds for Latah Court channels. Hey. You're saying there might be a live stream of this will be good stuff. There's only 2 judges there, right? We've got Jeff Broody. Okay, let me just go through the counties. There are a lot of counties in Idaho, the way they divide that up. Thank you very much for this connection. Let's see, Jeff Broody. We're going to click watch on this and just see what we've got. It is a YouTube feed. It's one of those where we'll probably lose the video as soon as it stops, so we'll have to be watching as it happens. I'll reroute my hardware and try to get a recording of this when it comes up. But let's see if there's any of the streams we'll have to watch here for Latah. Do a quick search, Command F, LATAH. It's on there 5 times, so there might be 5 different justices we'll have to watch. Okay, so I might need to recruit some of you guys to get this. Jay Grayskill, John Judge. His name is John Judge. Judge is his name. That's pretty cool. And Megan Marshall. Okay, so we've got 5 possible justices that cover Latah County, and they all have YouTube channels. So we anticipate that he won't appear in person. He will probably be like zoomed in from the jail, a lot like we see in Knox County for their arraignments, and that's probably what we're going to see. And it will be pretty short, quite honestly. It will be interesting if he tries to talk and ask questions and act up a little bit like we see sometimes on those arraignments. But thank you so much for those links. We'll keep an eye on that, especially as we get closer to him getting on the ground. Is green bologna vegan enough for a prisoner? It sounds good. It sounds healthy. It's green anyway. It's growing. Okay. Ann Taylor. Kathy's saying Ann Taylor. What was it? Someone in chat, or you want me to look something up? Ann Taylor's the judge. Is that who you're saying is Taylor? I don't see. I might be confused on this one. I'm not seeing a Taylor on the list of justices. Ann Taylor might be his lawyer. Julianne says, I'm 5 hours ahead. I'm in for a late night. You are. You got to stay here through the duration, though. It's going to happen. I've been holding it since Pennsylvania. Yeah, you can finally have a break. Okay, let me catch up on chat here. I apologize. If I missed your question, go ahead and ask it again, but this time put an @ symbol on it and put my name right after the @ symbol. So if you do @recovery addict, a lot like Bella did right here, where it says @recovery addict. That way it shows up in bright orange on my screen, and I'll be able to pick it up. Like, Scott's on TV. Woohoo! Will we hear if there's a lawsuit in the dog bites the wrong guy incident? Gordon, great question. I've got a Freedom of Information Act request filed with the California Highway Patrol on that incident. And I asked for everything. I really did. I asked for body camera footage. I asked for dash cam footage, all the arrest reports related to that incident that took place that night in that area. Every use of force report with dog bites. I asked for the audio files of the airship to the ground units. I've got everything I possibly can, because I really think there won't be a lawsuit, because I bet the California Highway Patrol has already written a nice fat check. They probably showed up at the hospital while he was being treated for his dog bite and had a checkbook in hand and said, hey, does $100,000 sound good to you? And he probably went for it. That's what I'm thinking, but we'll see. We'll get some information.
I don't consent to that name.
We'll get some information and try to follow that up and see if we can find if there's a lawsuit or at least a settlement. If there is a settlement, it will probably be sealed, but we'll know at least that there was something. But we've got a request in for that one, Gordon. I do want to follow that. Okay. Do you feel like Dick Tracy when you talk to your watch? Yes. Wombat Mommy. Dick Tracy, as a kid, watching that cartoon, it was the weirdest thing that he would pull out phones that had video on it and talk to his watch and everything. And now it's what I do every day. So, High Speed Drifter says, if a house is a party house with many people coming and going, couldn't it be argued that there would be random DNA brought in on shoes and bags? Yes, that may be a defense, and it really is going to depend on where they found the DNA. If they found pools of blood that were not mixed DNA, it was just his DNA, that might be a little harder to explain with a party scenario than say if there was just something under her fingernails. You could say it a lot like Sarah Boone said, that I know what happened, I know what those scratches are from, type thing. So we'll see. But that's definitely something that we'll be finding out about probably later on in the case once it starts. Okay. He probably will be in person, considering it's upstairs from jail. That would be if he's just upstairs. It is a small jail, huh? It's only meant to hold like 30 or 40 people. So if it is in person, that would be neat. His attorney's probably going to be there soon. We'll need. I think most of the big news stations are sending people there right now. So they're sort of sorry, I thought I saw an airplane. They're sort of swarming that little town. What happened to Weather Watch? Weather Watch just gifted somebody a membership. There goes our plane. Where's the plane? Did it take off? No, I'm not seeing it yet. That's an LJ-45. That's a different one. That's a Learjet. It would be nice, and he's headed too far south. That trajectory would take him down to maybe Salt Lake City, maybe Reno. I'm thinking we need him sort of to go along the top edge of Wyoming is the direction we're looking at. So I think we're good. But Learjet, that's a nice fast one. If he had flown a Learjet all along, let's see, they're going at 356 knots, so much faster. He might have been there already had they taken a Learjet. Okay, so thank you, WeatherWatch, for your gifted sub. Very generous supporter of the channel. He was on this morning giving us some weather updates with severe weather that's facing the West Coast and the East Coast. A great gentleman and a scholar. So thank you very much. And who got the freebie? Where was that at? I can't see who picked it up. Let's see. Chandra, congratulations. There you are. And with the thanks to WeatherWatch as well. Thanks for being awesome. He is amazing. A great guy. Let's see. Bart, you've got a great question here. It says, Recovery Addict, why is there need of extradition in the same country? Because sort of in a way, even though we're all in the same country, every state has their own laws, like we're our own country. So we have different jurisdiction. I mean, we joke about subject matter jurisdiction with Daryl Brooks, but really there's areas of jurisdiction. In Idaho, for the most part, their jurisdiction happens with falls within things that happen within their boundaries. And there's some exceptions and ways they can have jurisdiction. I mean, California has asserted jurisdiction over things that happen well outside their boundaries, and some of that's still being litigated in the courts. But generally, there's some boundaries to what they can say. For instance, there are things that are illegal in Tennessee that are not illegal in North Carolina, like this. If I was in possession of this in Tennessee, I would be a felon. Because I have a lockpick set, and I'm not a registered locksmith. But here, we can go full screen here. But look, I can show it off and say, no, it's fine. I'm here in North Carolina. I've got all my lockpick tools. I can pick locks, and that's not a problem because it's okay in North Carolina for me to do this as a hobby. There are some laws that I have to comply with. I can't charge anyone for my services. I can't advertise my service as a locksmith, but I can play and pick locks, that aren't in use. And I'm going to be okay. Now, if I commit a crime and I'm in possession of this, that's going to be some serious charges because then it suddenly becomes burglary tools instead of just a play locksmith set. Tennessee's different. Even if I was a registered locksmith, if I didn't have my card with me saying I was a registered locksmith and I was pulled over and had those, I could be arrested and charged with a felony. So every state has their own jurisdictions and have their own rules. Idaho has rules that are very much like Pennsylvania. You're not supposed to kill people, right? Those are similar laws. Every state has this law. But Idaho can't just reach over and grab somebody out of Pennsylvania because when you're in Pennsylvania, you fall under their jurisdiction. So it's a process that goes through the governor. The warrant is sent over, and we all the states recognize that other states have authority within their boundaries, and we work together. But he's not guilty yet. So they can't just say, yeah, you can take him. You could just come and grab him. He has rights too because he's innocent until proven guilty. And so he has the opportunity to, in court, argue against that and say, no, I don't want you, Idaho, to come and grab me out of my home state of Pennsylvania. I don't think that's fair. He had the opportunity and a lawyer to represent him so he could do that. But so that's why we have the extradition. It's a much smoother process and a quicker process than if it was happening, say, out of Canada or out of Mexico, where some countries, I think Mexico is one of them, they are adamantly against the death penalty. And if you are trying to extradite somebody for a charge that will has the possibility of a death sentence, they'll say no. We'll just hang on to him. We'll let him stay here. And we'll keep them, okay, because we're against that. We don't think that's right. And so a lot of times if you try to extradite somebody from that country, you might have an agreement that says we won't pursue the death penalty if you let us come and get him. But the states are a little bit different. Awesoming all over the place, WeatherWatch. Yes, he is. He's a great guy. Let's see. what time we in? Let me check. Do we have a plane leave? Nope. They're just looks like UPS is flying over the airport. So if somebody has a package, hey, I'm going to mute that one. Sorry, bud. I'll give you a call back. Message, can I call you later? There we go. Bryan flew on a private jet. He did. It's a state-owned vehicle. I believe it's owned by the police. Let's see what I just scrolled and missed everything. So if you had a question, go ahead and ask it again. What if BK gets a female PD? He may. And if they're, I have to respond to this message. Just 1 second. People are waiting to see if there's something that they're waiting for me on. So not tonight. Nothing happening tonight. Okay. There we go. Okay, where are we at? So he might get a female PD. Definitely. There were a couple that were conflicted. One of the attorneys that would have possibly been assigned to him was actually the coroner who handled this case. So clearly she cannot be his attorney as well. But they don't have a lot of attorneys up there to choose from. They don't have an office of public defenders up there in Moscow, in Latah County. So they're basically hiring an attorney at the state's dime to cover it. I wonder how much they charge if they cap the pay at a certain rate. Flight just took off, says Kathy. Let's see, where are we at? Who took off? Okay, we've got a beach air. I don't think that's coming into land. Check the other planes. Did I miss one? Nope. This is that's a Learjet. You think they swapped planes? I mean, there's a chance. There's a chance they swapped planes. Let's see. You said that at 5:59. That was about 5 minutes ago, so that might be the same plane. Let me catch up here in chat. There are two of me. Sorry. Sorry about that. Bryan flew on private jet. Yes, he did. It's sort of like a twin engine, a smaller plane, like a 12-seater, I think. Okay, we're gonna do a quick check and see our most tracked. There's an LJ45. This would be a switch. The most tracked plane right now. It did just take off out of Rapid City. It's headed the right direction to possibly be going to Moscow. It is a Learjet, which is already over 400 knots. So he's moving at a much faster clip if this is him. We'll have to see if there's some verification on the ground that there was a change of planes. But I'm going to keep an eye here on Rapid City. That was about enough time to switch planes and take off, but it would be a different plane. So maybe they... Let's see. If somebody could find out what this plane is registered to, we don't have a tail number, so we'll have to get a source on the ground to get a tail number to find out who the registration is. It's possible that PA said, we'll take him halfway, right? We'll fly him halfway and drop him off, and you pick him up the rest of the way. Moscow rhymes with Costco. I'm sorry. I get it wrong a lot. Why is he getting first-class treatment? I don't think it's first class. It's not like he's kicking back in a luxury chair just enjoying the view. He's in cuffs and shackles, and, I mean, the most they're letting him do, they're probably give him a drink of water on the way there, and it's a high-speed drifter. You can't say that. The Mild High Club. Yeah, this is an elite club. It's like, how many of you have been in custody a mile high? Seriously. Not first class, most secure. If switching planes in the plane we've been following will eventually fly in the opposite direction, you're right. I'm not sure how soon it would take off, though. Let's see. We've got another one on the ground here right now. Let's see what that one is. Yeah, this is a private Cessna, so this is not it. It's a little Skyhawk. It's going to go very slow. It's going 54 knots right now. And it's already turning around, so he's just circling, going in another direction. I wasn't showing you that one. I was watching here. I'll try to do that better. Okay, here we go. So let me see what we've got. So here, Rapid City is right here, right? So here's our airport. And I've got on the left-hand side of the screen the LJ, the Learjet 45 that did take off, and you can see it went over on Rapid City, and then it sort of banked and headed back up. And it's followed the right trajectory sort of to head up towards Idaho, because we're trying to get over in this area, right? Like to Pullman. So here's Pullman right here in the middle of the screen. And if we zoom out a little bit, I'll try to keep it there in the middle, and so you can see the plane, to see the trajectory. They normally arc just a little bit higher than that as they begin, and so the way over here is the jet. So it's possible. It's possible this is the one. I'm still going to keep an eye on the ground here for a little bit. The Learjet is owned by Carlock Air LLC. Okay, but Weather Watch, is that? Thanks for the source on that. Let's see. With Carlock, are they contracted out to somebody? I mean, a lot of times you might have a government jet that's actually a private company that's contracted out. My hair looks red violet with the lighting today. Oh yeah, I can never win. I adjusted it. I had what looked like a little buzz of bees next to my shoulder because the chroma key was off, and I fixed it, and now my hair looks funny. BK was already assigned 2 prominent women attorneys, and they have been on the crime scene with PIs. Okay, so they're underway already, and it will be 2 women apparently. So that'll be interesting. I wonder how he looks at them. How long will it take to get him back to Idaho? Probably. Well, if it's this Learjet, you're looking at probably less than 2 hours, like an hour and a half, and he'll be there. If that's actually him. Okay, so this little guy leaving, that's not him. We've got another plane coming into land. This is a Beech C-90 King Air, so that's not him as well, because he's come all the way from down south. Not him. We got a helicopter in the area down here that's flying around. It's a Black Hawk. Sweet, they've got a Black Hawk not far from there. Wonder what he's doing. Okay, but the Learjet's the one we're super interested in, because that one is moving. 420 knots. Weather Watch says N930CC is the tail number for the Learjet. Let's do a quick check on that one. We'll come back here. What was it? N930. I clicked on the wrong one. Let's try this one. Okay, so there's the Learjet. It's a 16-year-old plane. It's a private owner. Interesting, but that's him right there. If that's the Learjet anyway. So it's a possibility there. We're going to keep an eye on that plane as well, and maybe watch and see if they did the little switcheroo and the shell game with us there at the airport. The first one is a twin prop, I think, and now he's on a jet, if he did make that switch. The plane we're looking for might not even be in the most tracked list. It's possible, but we've watched everything that's taken off, and even though it's not on the most tracked, we would have seen it lift off the ground. So we'll keep an eye on this. Why did he take his car to PA for Christmas break? I don't know. It was hard to hear. The officer sort of asked him, he's like, "What, you scared of flying?" type thing on one of the traffic stops. But Learjet's heading to Kalispell, Montana. Is that a no then? How close is Kalispell to? I don't know my. Let's see. Golden Mom says not him. Okay, so we're going to go back and watch the airport here a little closer. See if we just had one land, right? Yep, this is the guy that just came in and landed. That's the C-90. We'll give him a pass for it right now. The Kalispell guy, that might not be him. The Golden Mom's had some great information here in the past, so we trust her very much. Okay, she's got the history of the N930CC, Rapid City to Kalispell, and it's been doing a bunch of other flights. So, okay, so we'll hold off and we'll wait and see. He might be still getting a bathroom break. Might be taking a little time there. News Nation probably flying BK and Enton together for the exclusive. We do know that the Enton was in flight. He tweeted the second the car body cam footage from the police chase, or not the police chase, but from the first traffic stop from the sheriff's deputy. He tweeted that from the air, and he's like, "This took forever because I was on the airplane Wi-Fi and it was awful." Super secret Black Hawk things going on, really, for sure. Daniel, you're right. He was in a Pilatus. We were wondering if he switched planes, and we're keeping an eye on that to see if possibly he had. But let's see, this plane is that's the one that just landed. We believe the Pilatus is still on the ground. We think he's still there at that airport. A little like stalking, never hurt anybody. Just don't take any action on it. Don't threaten anybody. We'll be good. It has a more northerly trajectory now. Maybe they have some storms. Sparky, we think that plane may actually not be the one. That Learjet has a flight history that shows it was doing a bunch of other jumps, and it just doesn't seem like it's the right one. It's going to Montana. Yes, that Learjet will be, and that seems like a weird stop because the Learjet has a range. It's got the speed and the range. It should be able to get him there, and it can also land on a pretty short runway. So I don't think that's going to be him. Recovery, I do not understand. Did he do the crime and take the plane or drive to PA immediately? Smiley Faces, great question. The crime happened the middle of November. He drove the car home the middle of December. So about a month later, he drove home. And his dad, I believe, flew out to join him for the drive home. And this had been planned for a long time. So he took his car, kept the Washington plates on. We know that from the traffic stop. He kept the Washington plates on and drove back to PA, where he then changed the plates, I believe, to Pennsylvania plates, which is okay, which is normal, I guess. It's a long drive, though. Let's see. There's speed restrictions, such as no faster than 250 knots below 10,000 feet, and others depending on where you're at. Yes. And that's why the pilots get paid big money to understand all those flight restrictions and where they have to fly and how to read maps and all that. Your dog is even scared of you. Debbie's had some eye surgery. We're wishing her the best as she's in recovery right now. So some days she can just hear us, but good to have you here, Debbie. Why would he need his car at school? Sherry, it gets cold there. It's not the warmest place, and so it's not the sort of place you'd want to walk all the time. Also, it's sort of remote, so if he's driving around, I don't see that as a strange thing. A lot of times in other schools have campuses where you live on campus, you wouldn't need a car, but this would be pretty normal. Somebody just came in my front door. I think it's my son. I don't do planes anymore. I'll drive across country border sleep while the train drives me. And the sleeper car and the train. That plane is old enough to drive. Okay, let's see. Thanks for the answer. Let's see who said that here. Bart Justin says, Recover Addict, thanks for the answer. And if the court finds him guilty, where does he go to prison? It would be in Idaho. It probably wouldn't be in that little tiny jail. It would probably be a state prison that he would go. This chat is freaking amazing. Miss Priss, you are 100% right. Thanks for being part of that and making it amazing. It would not be the same without you, Miss Priss. Thank you so much. Has anyone ever been tracked as much as this guy? He's like, I'm just trying to get away with a crime, and the whole internet is trying to find me. That's what we do.
Are we going to adjust subject matter jurisdiction?
Let's see. Windy like crazy here on the Oregon coast at the moment. Douglas, Weather Watch was on this morning and talked a little bit about that storm. Just an amazing storm. If you look at the satellite map, it looks like a hurricane off the east coast, and that's pushing on. It's going to bring. He said they're going to have like 4 inches of rain in some areas, which is so much water. So there's going to be flooding and all sorts of stuff. Let's see. Hey, look at this. On the ground, we have the Pilatus PC-12 just showed up. It looks like they're taxiing to the runway right now, so they're moving again. Going 22 knots right now. We expect them to take off. The direction they go will be very, very telling. I think they will head to Idaho. But it looks like the plane is going to be back on the air very soon. Let me move this up here so you can see as it taxis along. Blackhawk is probably from Ellsworth Air Force Base in Rapid, probably out doing some tests or some little practice missions. All right, what do you think about the story about the SWAT team story that they told the policeman? Pauline, was that weird or what? I mean, think about this. Just put yourself in their shoes. You're out of state. You're driving through another state. You get pulled over. Okay, they say, "Can I have your license? Can I see your license?" Type thing. Who are you? Type thing. And the first thing you tell the officer is, "Hey, 6 states ago there was a SWAT team that they shot somebody," type thing. It just seems like a weird jump in the conversation, especially right after they're like, "Hey, where are you from?" He's like, "Hey, there was this SWAT thing. You want to hear about a cool SWAT story?" It seems like a distraction. It seems like he didn't want to say he was from WSU. His dad had no problem saying that. He didn't want to say where he was going. He's like, "Oh, we're getting some Thai food." So yeah, I think that was just a weird story to throw in there. I think he's trying to deflect the conversation. With the high publicity of this case, I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. Marshals plane did do a shell game switcheroo. Possibly. They're almost to the end of the runway. Just give them another minute. They'll be ready to take off. There may be another plane in front of them, so just let's watch and see what pops up here. Jay says, liked and subscribed from Leeds, UK. Jay, so good to have you here. I'm glad you found the channel. This is a great place. You'll find there are a lot of friends you didn't know you had in chat, and several of them over from the UK as well. One of our great mods, Abby, is from the UK as well. They alerted us in the car on December 9th. He left in his on December 15th. Yeah, so he was there for some time with that car, and I don't know if he drove it a lot or not, but there's got to be people like, roommates or something, people that lived in the areas like, hey, we're looking for a white Hyundai Elantra, and there's one parked next to me every day type thing. That had to occur to somebody, right? That had to just pop up. Oh man, the bit rate has dropped. Let's see. What is going on with my bit rate? Oh, it's because my image is not. It's because I don't have my picture on my screen. This will bring the bit rate back up. It's still a good feed. Shouldn't show off any buffering. There goes the bit rate. We're getting better. Okay. Jay has admitted to being an addict. Welcome, Jay. Thank you for subscribing, by the way. I appreciate it. From Leeds. I spent some time in England, but never got to go to Leeds. I was more in the Aylesbury, Watford, Rickmansworth, Chelmsford, Kings Lynn, London, and that sort of area is where I traveled around. Why wouldn't he need his car at school? I think he would. Probably have to get him his vegan cooked dinner in Rapid City. Yeah, he gets what he gets, So the plane just took off. Sorry, I just missed it. It just lifted off the ground. We're already going 177 knots, and there we are. Let's zoom in here. He's probably going to bank up to the north here shortly. As we put the route on the screen. Come on, follow. There we go. The update on these apps is a little bit quirky. So sometimes we get a little bit of jumps where it looks like the plane suddenly sped up and turned, and that's what they're doing. They are turning to the north, which is what we expected. That's a good sign. If they had gone back to PA, we'd know there was a shell game in the works. But let's see if they bank more as they go around Rapid City here. His attorney better be sharp and have a cutting-edge courtroom technique. I hope he's not dull and has good points. It's actually 2 females, High-Speed Drifter. He should slice through the prosecution's arguments. Okay, I just realized what you were doing halfway through your comment. Great puns there, High-Speed Drifter. I appreciate that. Always welcome on this channel, a good pun. Let's see. Can I get some Hands Pizza? Someone get some Hands Pizza. And the other goodies are here. Let's see. I'm getting some more text messages I have to respond to. Just one second here. Okay, so I'm going to have a meeting in 2 hours. Okay, that's we'll see about that. I'm a numbers person, but I can't help but wonder how much they're spending on this guy, tracking him, watching him, flying him. It costs a lot. The Marshal Service says they can fly somebody for about $3,500, but they are a regularly scheduled airline. It's a government airline that flies inmates around. So if they just put somebody on an existing flight, it's going to be a lot cheaper than chartering a plane, and all the security to go with them, and the food and the stops and the gas and the fuel. It comes down to a bill for one guy. So this could be, I think we had somebody who texted in on the burner phone that said they had a family member that had this sort of treatment was when they were charged with something, and it cost about $40,000 in their case. So it could be a little bit expensive. Let's see. The flight of shame. That's what it is. Okay, they still haven't banked north. Just waiting for them to turn just a little bit as they go around Rapid City. Maybe they're waiting to cover the city because they're still only about 10,000 feet in altitude, so they're getting up to cruising altitude, climbing pretty quick, climbing about 1,700 feet per minute right now. So we'll give them a second to get up to cruising speed. Miss M. Hilton says, "Hi, mods and chat and recovery addicts. Great information. Thank you for doing this live." Miss Hilton, you are sure welcome. Thank you for being here. It wouldn't be the same without you, Miss Hilton. I'm glad you found us here. I didn't hear the story about the SWAT team. So Ginger, the SWAT team is actually, I can go back and play this actually if you'd like. Let's find the clip here. I've only got the one. So just 1 second here. We're gonna play back the video. This is the second video that just dropped today and it's actually the first police stop in Indiana while they were coming over from Washington to PA. So it's a pretty quick video, and for some reason it's shot in portrait mode. I'm not sure why. It seems like a very ineffective way to film body cam footage because you don't get any peripheral, anything in the picture, but we'll give it a listen. So you see he comes up, the first officer is going to, let me take the words off the screen so you can see. You're not going to see him do it, so to speak, but he's going to put his thumb on the back of the car, on the bumper. Oops, I put it back on. So let's give that a play. So he just touches the bumper as he goes by.
How you doing? How y'all doing today? Good. Take a look at your driver's license real quick if I could. See, he's right up on that van, man. He was right up on the back end of that van. Pulled you over for tailgating. Is this your car? Okay. Cool. Where are you headed?
We're going to actually inside.
Okay, so I'm going to pause right there. He gets his driver's license. He's looking at it. He's like, "Hey, where are you headed?" Okay. I think, which makes me think he pulled this guy over because it was a white Elantra. Okay. Says, and his response is, "We're going to go get some Thai food." Okay, which is bizarre, but then it gets crazier.
Well, we're coming from WSU.
Okay, the dad outs him immediately, and look at Brian's face as he's staring at that. No, don't tell him WSU. Okay.
And
okay, we're gonna roll with it.
What's WSU?
I go to university basically. It really incident that was occurring up there. There's a good shooting incident. That
Okay, right there. So he says it's Washington State University, and then he immediately continues with, "There's a security incident." Okay, and so this is where he's starting about the SWAT team that Ginger was asking about.
the SWAT team and everything.
So I'm having a hard time hearing you because of the traffic.
Okay, so he's having a hard time hearing him. Brian has his window open as well. He wasn't sure which side the officer was going to pull up to, so they both rolled down their windows, and because his window's open, the officer's hearing, even though he's sort of crouched down and listening to the car, there's sound coming through the car from Brian's window as well. So Brian's going to roll up his window and continue here.
So you're coming from Washington State University? Yeah. And you're going where?
You're going where? To get some Thai food. Washington State University to get some Thai food. Everyone from Washington State University drives across the country to get Thai food.
Oh.
We're going to be going to Pennsylvania.
Dad outs him once again, says we're going to Pennsylvania. He gets the slant eye from Brian there as he's spilling all the beans for the officer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're slightly punchy because we're driving for hours.
He says we're slightly punching it because we've been driving for hours. And the officer's like, he's doing the math. He's like, this is a long drive.
Hours, days.
Good drive. Well, almost a day.
Okay.
So it sounds like they might be deadheading it, right? So almost a day. They might be switching off and not stopping for rest. It's just straight across the country type thing, taking turns.
What did you say about some SWAT team thing? Or
Yeah, there was a mass shooting and everything.
Where?
So he says, where was it? He says Washington State University. And there was. If you check the news, there was a story of a SWAT team. There was a barricaded suspect. I don't think it was a mass shooting. I didn't see that when I just did my quick little search. But there was an incident where SWAT team was called and they responded to a barricaded individual, and they ended up actually having to unalive the individual. So.
Interesting.
Well, it's horrifying because he's going to the university, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So y'all work at the university there?
I actually do work there.
So Bryan says, actually, I do work there. His dad's going to say he's got a PhD in he's working on his PhD in criminal justice.
Okay.
The officer's like, okay, this is weird, but everything sort of checks out.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that incident.
That incident, it happened just like an hour and a half ago. So basically, they're talking very urgently and alerting this officer to this incident that happened back at Washington State University after they had left. They weren't there for it. It's after they had left this is going on.
Just yesterday, or?
No, this happened this morning. About an hour and a half ago, we're still wrapping it up.
About an hour and a half ago, still wrapping it up. Okay. So this is just bizarre. The fact that they interject, this is what happened. Now, if they had just been there, if they had been like, we were trying to leave my apartment, and holy cow, the SWAT team showed up and there was a shooting and everything, I can see why they're talking about this, several states later, almost a day later. But instead, they basically heard about this, probably through social media or something, maybe some contacts that are back there, said, hey, this is some weird stuff going on. But they're talking about it to this officer, which just seems out of place to me, almost like deflecting the conversation. Let's talk about anything else but the fact that I'm from the area where you're looking for a white Hyundai Elantra. I'm leaving the country, or I'm crossing the country.
I'm not sure there's two shootings because they did shoot somebody.
Let's see.
They did.
And you don't know about that actually. They were apparently shooting out of the window or something.
Interesting. Okay, so that's basically all we get from that feed. But that's an interesting one. That was the sheriff's office when they stopped him, and shortly after that, just a few minutes after that, they got stopped by the highway patrol, also for following too closely. So he did not learn his lesson the first time. But I will say that just from what I've seen of that second stop, the highway patrol doesn't cut you much slack on following distance. I would have been pulled over for the same thing had I been going through there. Anyway, that's the SWAT team situation, Ginger. Hope that helps a little bit what they were talking about. Really wasn't really related at all to Bryan. I get a bad feeling about the dad, says Kathy. Were they listening to police scanner in the car? Great question, Shonda. Great question. I don't know. Just checking back in on our little plane here. It looks like they are starting to bank back up north, which is good. That puts them back on trajectory. There shortly will be on trajectory to get up to Idaho, where we're expecting. But they're about to leave South Dakota, put Rapid City in the rear view, and head over and cut across part of Wyoming. They might fly over Yellowstone National Park, which would be amazing to see from the air in the wintertime. I've never done that. I just realized I have an extra computer mouse that I don't know where it came from. And it's not the one. I don't know what it's connected to. Somebody just like teleported a mouse onto my desk, and I've never seen it before. It doesn't work. I'm not sure what it's connected to. All right. Anyway, let's see. We'll watch the plane just here a little bit as we're keeping an eye on that here. Okay, just went over Bear Mountain. They're almost up to 22,000 feet. So 21,400, still climbing about 1,000 feet per minute. So they'll be up to cruising altitude here shortly, already up to 173 knots. once they reach cruising altitude, they'll probably speed up a little bit because they don't have to climb any further. Look at how BK is looking at his dad. Seriously, some of those glances, it seems like, hey, let me control this type thing. Don't bring that up. I wonder how the conversation would have gone had his dad just been silent in the car. It probably would have been even weirder. Let's see. J-Kid says, thanks for replaying the SWAT team's story. Amazing how their conversation can be deciphered. I can't understand them. J-Kid, I have an ear for that. I've listened to police scanners for a lot of years, and picking out sounds and voices over noise has become a skill of mine. I also do have some hardware. I haven't run it on this, but I can run some filters on that and sort of take out some of that noise using some selective equalization and sort of pick out voices a little better, but I didn't need to on that one. I probably should, just to get a few of the words that I didn't get. But it was a very strange conversation, Ginger. I 100% agree with you. Brian certainly didn't look at ease talking to the officer, right? And when the second one pulled him over, he was deer in the headlights. Anyone else feel like they'll find? Oh, sorry, clicked on the wrong one. Just flew over me in Southwest Rapid City. Did you take a picture of the sky, Renee? Yeah, they did fly over you. They're headed over the Black Hills National Forest right now, and they've leveled off. They're actually losing about 64 feet per minute right now. They've sort of reached that 22,000 feet, which will be their cruising altitude. That's what we had out of Illinois as well. So that's probably the sweet spot for the plane. For gas mileage and speed and everything, and they're picking up the ground speed up to 240 knots as well. Anyone else feel like they find Jimmy Hoffa before they find that knife? I don't know. They need to recruit a couple amateurs. We've got a couple people in chat that do magnet fishing. I think the magnet fishers are going to find that knife eventually. Someone's going to get it. We might have to zoom in on the area and find a lot of the common bridge crossings over rivers and send somebody up there. Let's see. Yep, anyone who makes those runs just counts on getting pulled over. Douglas, the funny thing I saw, he does not keep his ID in his wallet in his pocket. He had it next to him, so it was his hands were always visible. He just reached for it. Here's the ID out of my wallet type thing. I've got a mouse infestation. Yes, computer mice. It's worse. It could be worse. They could be non-computer mice. I am in an antique historical home, so we're constantly fighting everything that wants to get in the house that should not be here. This reminds me of the time we all sat around on our TVs and watched O.J. Simpson ride 15 miles an hour down Los Angeles freeway, followed by half of LAPD. Those were good days, Sparky. Those were good days. We still do some of these chases, and we even had a couple slow speed chases recently out of California. Those are fun to watch. Wombat Mommy is back from lurking and eating dinner. Good to have you here. Recovery Addict says, that's the mouse I sent to stop buffering from earlier. It's in the Internet Owner's Manual. Okay, you're doing it right because the buffering stopped. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. Max says, K-bar is his plane, Southern Trajectory. I see the K-bar in there. I think that is a joke. I'm going to read that as a joke because the K-bar is the type of knife that... an NY K-bar. I get that. That was funny. This does sound live, says Nancy. It is. It is pretty live. I try to respond just as quick as I can. I'm a few minutes behind on chat, but I'm trying to catch up. Maybe you'll do us all a favor and land in a geyser. No, Katrina, don't do that because that would really spoil the geysers. Let's see. He did. He turned a little bit. Like he might be headed to Boise. Oh, the comments aren't showing up. I'm messing up the comments here. My kid's coming and correcting me. There we go. Okay, thank you. My wife says I've got selective equalization, 6 volt. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a real thing. I also have add on top of that. I've got tinnitus from years of misspent youth listening to music much louder than I should have. So I have to put up with that as well. Let's see. Karen says, late, is this for sure the plane he's on? Thank you. Karen, let me tell you why we think this is the plane. First of all, it took off out of Scranton, Pennsylvania, and it's registered to the police department there. It's flying without tail numbers or flight path visible. So it's sort of flying under the radar, so to speak. You get that? and it flew to Illinois and did a refueling. When it was there in Illinois, TMZ had somebody on the ground that took pictures, and they've got pictures of Bryan getting off the plane in shackles, in his jumpsuit, being ushered in. He probably got a drink, got a restroom break, and then back onto the plane and took off again. So we know that at that point, we knew he was on the plane. He then flew from Illinois all the way to Rapid City in South Dakota. We watched the plane land there. It probably did another refueling, and then took off again. So there's a possibility that he got off the plane in Rapid City and will be on another plane, but not very high likelihood. So that's why we say we think this is the plane he's on. It's the same tail number. It's still headed the same direction. It looks like they just had a restroom break and a refuel, and they're continuing on their way. Ooh, sorry, I got the hiccups there. They're continuing on their way. They're headed a little bit low, so they're sort of going as if they're going straight to Boise. But maybe they'll bank a little bit and head further north. You never know. There might be TFRs and stuff they're flying around, temporary flight restrictions or military testing areas, things like that. Let's see. The family is growing, says Lindsay. Yes, they are. We've got quite a few people here. If you're new in chat, this is a fun place to be. We do invite you to participate in the chat. Definitely. Even if you're brand new, just know that we do like to keep it civil. So if you have differing opinions, that's great. Let's keep the name calling out. I think most of us are adults here. Let's handle it that way. And you'll find that you'll have some friends, maybe some lifelong friends that you never knew you had here in chat. And you'll want to come back for more, for sure. Basic Brittany says his eyes look like he hasn't slept in a long time to me. Yeah, they've got that hollow stare, that dark, dead look. In a couple of the pictures. And we had actually on the live stream before, we had Kelly, who was in New Jersey, right there, and decided to go up to court and watched in court. She was in court when he'd had his extradition hearing, and even had an opportunity to make eye contact with him and to hear her recount how that sounded and what that was like for her. That was pretty interesting to hear. But appreciate her calling in and sharing that experience with us. Golden Mom, will you be in a meeting when the docs arrive online? My meeting is supposed to be 45 minutes tonight. And I don't know. Let's hope not. If we are, we'll talk about it after, but it's not a meeting I can meet. It is a Zoom meeting, so I won't be gone. I won't be like away from the house. I'll be able to switch over, but I probably won't be able to live stream while I'm doing my Zoom meeting. That would be a little too complicated for me. If you threw the knife in Wyoming, you'll never find it. Yep. There's a lot of nothing in Wyoming. I mean, it's what they have like 200,000 people, 250,000 people in the state. It's just a lot of space. Okay. It's a PA state-owned police plane. Renee, you're correct. So the PA owns that plane, and that's what's flying him out here. But I believe Idaho is responsible for his custody while flying, so maybe it's shared that way. I'm pretty sure that either PA is going to donate the flight or Idaho will reimburse them, something like that. I'm not sure how they're going to handle the cost there. Mom's In says, Recovery Addict, there was a horse chase on the Dan Ryan in Chicago a couple months ago. We're going to have to look at that. We did share an ATV chase in Arkansas the other day where the guy got away, which is rare because Arkansas, the troopers there will put you in the ditch as soon as they can. And I thought they would pit him even though he was on a four-wheeler. Even the risk involved there, I thought they were going to pit him as well because they don't put up with you running from them. Have a pickle for your hiccups. Does that cure hiccups too? Karen says, thank you for your explanation. You rock. Thank you, Karen, for the question. I'm glad we can help out. There was a square of plane. That was a square of planes. Let me zoom in here. I am sort of surprised at the trajectory or the flight path here. We're at cruising altitude, and they've got a heading of 273 degrees, which is almost straight west, which will put them. That's like the Boise area, a little bit above Boise if they continue that way. So I guess it's not too far off what I would expect. Maybe they come around the south side of the airport and circle in that way. But we'll keep an eye on him there. I think this is him for sure. We're definitely going to follow that plane. Is it? Okay, it's moving. Good. Okay, I'm sad about the gag order because I really liked Chief Fry. Yeah, Alexis, the gag order means that we won't hear much from the police, but we should still get the documents through the iCourt website, which we'll be watching as soon as he lands. And thanks to Amber for the link. There's also a possibility we could be watching the live stream from the judge for his arraignment, so we might be able to watch that as well, which would be basically before the documents even drop. We might be able to hear a little bit of information there. I'm not sure if the full document would be read in court or if we'll just hear the charges. Maybe have weather there going around. My husband's a pilot, and weather is the boss of the skies. It is, especially on a smaller plane. You're really, you have to work with what you're served there. Brian's trying to carve a future for himself. High Speed Drifter. These puns are the best. Thank you. Keep them coming. We can join the Zoom meeting. We'll behave. Adam, I can imagine that. I just joined the Zoom meeting with 390 of my closest friends and just say they'll be quiet. It's okay. They just want to sit there and watch the meeting. That would be funny. We are 600,000. What was 600,000 about? I'd rather be working. I have a memory of a squirrel, so if I said something about that, I've forgotten already. I'm sorry. Memory of a goldfish. That's even better. Just for the record, Discord is amazing. They are. Abby, Lil Miss, and Toxic Orchid have a Discord page. You'll see this in chat. If you type the Discord command right here, the ! Discord in chat, this response will pop up, and it will have a link to Discord. You can click on that in the chat window and take you over to Discord. They've done a phenomenal job just assembling all sorts of information about crime cases across the country that are fascinating, that you're interested in.
I don't consent to that name.
Well, we're going to call you that until you file a new name with the court. But they've done such a great job there. So if you like Discord and you like true crime, give that a click and go over there. They do a fantastic job. You'll find a lot of the people that you see here in chat are active over there as well. Chandra needs ice for the beverage. Get us all a cold one, right? I've got water. I'm good, actually. Okay, Cough Hiccup says, I miss a lot. What if he was being tracked in mid-December, but the FBI say they started tracking for 4 days before they got him in on December 30th? Who was tracking him across the country? In the first police sort of report we got, the press conference, they basically said they were handing off from unit to unit to track him across, which could mean that Indiana was part of that, and those traffic stops were part of that tracking. They literally could be, we're just checking in on you type thing. This is how we do it. This is how we'll monitor you as you go through our state. That's why both of them asked where they were heading and things like that, although that's a normal question for police officers to ask in a traffic stop with somebody out of state, because that helps. It's questions they ask when they're concerned about drug smuggling and things like that as well. CG says the number of Young Thug defendants is down to about 14. Some are taking a plea of probation to turn state's evidence. Yeah, all his homies in that Young Thug case are turning on him, and he had the opportunity to take a sweet deal. A plea deal. I'm not sure if it's still on the table anymore, but he might want to talk to his lawyer and say, "Hey, on second thought, let's sign me up for that," because with all his former co-workers in what's being accused as a criminal organization turning against him, that's a lot of evidence that would make him look really bad. Let's see. 600,000 Wyoming population. I'm so sorry. I totally underestimated that by 3 times. I'm actually a big fan of Wyoming. I'd rather be day working. Having spent many summers of my youth up there, even Star Valley, Wyoming, there was a ranch I'd go up there and work at for a gentleman that was a good friend of ours. Spent a lot of vacation times up there, a week at a time, up by let's see, is it Fillmore Fremont Reservoir? I think that's the name. It's a great little lake. I think it's one of the deepest lakes in Wyoming, and it's fantastic fishing. Just some rugged countries. It's right on the edge of the Wind River Mountains. Just beautiful. Wyoming, it has some pretty boring parts. I'll say that. They're driving across Wyoming. There are times when it's like, when will this end? But there are other times that it's just breathtakingly beautiful, and it has all of that, and wildlife to boot. I could tell you a story about a time I was up in almost at the tree line up in the Wind River Mountains fishing as a youth, as a Boy Scout, and no leaders with us, but we went up there just fishing, and we found a kitten. A cute little mountain lion kitten. It was the nicest thing, and we ran all the way back to camp because we knew that where there's a kitten, there's a mama, and mama generally doesn't like us being near the kittens. But I left my fish on the stringer in the water, went up and got them the next day. They were still alive on the stringer. Let's see, did anyone ever tell you that you have a Velvet Masters of Ceremony voice? It's like Barry White. Well, Polly, I've never had them put it that way. Velvet Masters of Ceremony. That sounds like formal. Tell me what I should read to make it sound more formal. If you have a little quote I can read. Let's see. Samantha Terry, good to have you here. Take your seat on the front row. Thanks for being a supporter of the channel. If it was not for Discord, I would not have known you were live right now. JK, I'm sorry. I should do a better job. And the girls over on Discord, they hassle me all the time because I have the opportunity to post over there. They've given me a space where I can really just drop in a line and say, hey, we're going live on YouTube, and I always forget to do it. But they're pretty good about letting people know. Let's see, you're on the southeast side. It's pretty boring and windy. So you're down by Evanston. Oh, sorry, that's the southwest, just north of Denver type area. Day working, the southeast actually has some pretty interesting geologic features. I say that because I like metal detecting and stuff. They have some, even going into the Colorado border area, they have some old volcano type structures that feature diamonds. It's interesting research if you ever go into that. But they've got some really cool rocks and stuff you can get out there if you like rocks, and I do. Because of the gag order, they would not release the interrogation, right? And that's a little frustrating. But I think the interrogation in PA, Bart, is actually not very insightful. He talked for 5 to 15 minutes, somewhere in that range. And basically what we've heard is that as soon as they started asking questions about Idaho, he lawyered up. So we probably just got basic identification information, how you doing type thing, breaking the ice. You probably had a few minutes of the Miranda rights being read, him waiving his rights, and as soon as we got to the good questions, he just clammed up. So I don't think there's a lot in that PA interrogation that we could have really benefited from. Chandra's got drinks for everybody. Thank you so much, Chandra. Appreciate that. Wombat Mommy says, I'd rather be where are you at in Wyoming? Okay, so it's southeast. That's where we heard there. Hour north of Cheyenne. Is that oil fields area? Is that a lot of the oil fields? Lindsay says, if y'all are reading this, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Appreciate you doing that here. Let's see, any other questions? Charlie says, recovery addict. I followed some black bear cubs into the woods off an Adirondack trail until I saw the mama staring at me. I've never run so fast in my life. Good thing you left that kitty alone. You're lucky because a bear can outrun you, and a mama bear will outrun you if she wants to. Bears actually scare me to death. I just have this fear of being chewed to death by a bear because they don't kill you, right? They disable you and then they eat you, and that just I'm not a big fan of that. I would have to say maybe 3 out of 10. Do not recommend as far as that goes. Let's see. Having dinner with Barry White, closing my eyes, says Bella. Have family in Star Valley, but they've passed away. That's awesome. I've the gentleman who owned the ranch that I worked at has passed away as well. I'll tell you, this guy was an absolute amazing man. I started working for him in his yard, like doing yard work, gardening and things like that. And eventually he's like, hey, do you want to come work on the ranch? We'll go up for a week at a time. And by work on the ranch, it really meant ride the 4-wheeler all day and shoot ground squirrels that were, infesting the fields and stuff. So it wasn't really hard work. A little bit of fence mending and things like that, some tree work, but it was a lot of fun to go up there. And the fishing, the fishing there on the river, it's at the Salt River that goes through Star Valley. It was so phenomenal, beautiful, clear, crystal clear water. You're not supposed to run from bears, I know, but it's hard to tell my feet that when I see one. It just doesn't. I can't communicate that to my feet. I have nightmares still. As an adult, I have nightmares about bears and running from them and then them catching me. So as I lay on the couch and confess everything here to you, that's one of my fears. Kind of rough today, but we'll be better soon. Debbie, hope you're feeling better with your eyes there. Hope they heal up so you can see us all in beautiful HD. I could do voiceover work for sure. I don't know where to start there, High Speed Drifter. I've got a buddy who does voiceover work, but every time here's the problem. I can look at the camera and knowing you guys are out there, I can talk all day long and love it and not feel self-conscious or anything. But as soon as I'm talking to a camera and it's just recording and there's no one on the other side, I stumble over my words. I can't get anything out straight. I cannot make a pre-recorded message. I can go live any time of the day, but I just can't do pre-recorded messages. So if I do voiceovers, it's going to be, screw it, we'll do it live type thing every single time. You have a ton of really great artifacts in our area. Yes, Indian artifacts for sure. You've got a ton of Native American history up there. Mr. Opatorso says, sorry if you mentioned this already, but I hear it's commonplace for Idaho to not let prosecutors and such talk before the trial. Risk prejudice, so pretty expected. Yeah, they have some rules to keep them safe. I mean, like the rule that Idaho has about releasing the probable cause affidavit. That's in there. I think it's like they're almost like a constitution level. That's like ingrained in Idaho law, that they keep that pretty quiet. But I think it's still uncommon to have a gag order. That's not commonplace. Just get an update here on where the plane is at. Looks like we're just past Gillette, Wyoming. So we're sort of flying right between Casper and Gillette, a little closer to Gillette, up on the north side, a little bit further north than day working. But looks like he's probably past where you're at, north of Cheyenne. He's crossing. Looks like he's on trajectory to catch that bottom end of Yellowstone National Park, and maybe cross over into maybe the Island Park area over there in Idaho, which I imagine would look absolutely beautiful. Not sure if from 22,000 feet it would you'd be able to see the beauty there, but the Teton Mountains, all that. You've got Targhee Pass up there. That would be beautiful, especially with all the snow they've had. I think they've had a lot of snow up there. I had to start carrying mace because so many loose dogs charge off. Squishy just eyeballs them. Squishy is your pet. Like, you trying to die today, little man? Lindsay says, oh gosh, I had a bad dream about alligators last night. You don't have to outrun the bear, says Weatherwatch. Just your mate that is also running from the bear. That's the secret. That's why I was doing cross country in high school. I just have to outrun my friends. Yeah, that makes me a really good friend, huh? Tag has nightmares of her own. I'm not sure if I can read that on the daytime show. But apparently there are bad ways that you can have a nightmare about shopping, and Tag has had those. So if you read that, that's get some insight there. Okay, I don't think they want to taint the jury pool. I think that's why they've got the gag order. And really, I think it's CNN might have, I'm going to throw them under the bus on this one. I think what CNN was reporting is probably what made the judge go to that step, because they're the only ones that really came out and said, we've got an inside source, a law enforcement source, who's telling us that, say, for instance, that we got this through DNA, and it was through, and they seem to have more information than anybody else, and it was information that hadn't come out in the press conferences. And so at that point, I think the judge said, hey, we need to put a stop to this and put the gag order in place. Aaron C. says, yell at the bears and throw your arms above your head. Do not run at them. Make sure you stand facing them. Once you turn to the side, turn your back side, or turn your back, they will charge you. You make yourself scared. Yeah. I do like watching bears, though. If you watch the live cams of like the falls up in Alaska, where when the salmon are running, I can watch that all day long. I just love it. Mom's named after Afton, Wyoming. I love that area. How long till he lands in Moscow? Great question, Cakespoo. Because the plane has not filed, or well, they probably filed a flight plan, but Flight Radar, because it's a government plane, they've asked to not be tracked. They're not sending us that information. So some people out there, maybe some of you could locate that if you have access to a system that doesn't filter that out. But we don't know for sure. But he is almost halfway across Wyoming, about a third of the way across Wyoming right now, and he has to go basically across the rest of Wyoming and Idaho. So I would put him at about an hour. Let's see. Yeah, so basically right when my meeting starts, that's when he's going to land. Oh, man. Yeah, so that's what's happening there. Ari was talking nightmares. We go all over the place on this chat. It is getting dark. It's dark here in eastern North Carolina, but for where they're at in Wyoming, let's see, what time is it there? I think it's still light there. Jim Bob says, I went to the outhouse one night. As I opened the door, I hear heavy footsteps behind the outhouse. I knew right away what it was and closed the door, turned around, and walked away. Uncle shot the bear the next day. I got so lucky. Wooden Toad, no matter how cute the baby bear looks, do not pet it. Wooden Toad, I do have a picture of me holding a baby black bear. But it was one that was brought to the news station when I worked at the news station as a cameraman. And they brought a couple of pets in. The baby bear, it's almost like cuddly cat type size, right? And it was just the cutest thing, and just it would nuzzle up, and it would nuzzle up to you, just curl up like a pet. It was from I think it was Bear World, which is a private park that keeps bears on a little bear reservation, not far from Yellowstone. It's one of those places where all the people who go to Yellowstone to see the bears and never see a bear, they stop at Bear World afterwards, because you can drive through the area in your car and the bears are all around your cars and stuff. It's really like a fast food joint for bears, because just like the food comes through on a line, just vehicle after vehicle. But they brought that pet down, and it wasn't a pet, but it was a baby, and it was fun to hold. Toxic says, if we get 21 more members to hit our goal of 250 members in the Discord, let's grow this Discord community. You guys are growing fast. That is awesome. I'll put a plug in for sure. If you want to check out Discord, it has great information about true crime. If you want to look at one of the things I use most often on that Discord page is just the calendar. If you want to know what cases are coming up, and what are the dates when they're going to start, she's got a list over there that you can just click on the month. It'll pull it up. It'll show all the court cases as they're coming up, and there are links. If there's one you want to look at, you click at it, and it'll take you right to the documents page, and you can see the videos, news videos that have come out on that. You can see the actual document drops if there's specific things you want to read about. Well worth learning how to use Discord to do. If you run from bears, predators, you look like prey. You back up slowly, make yourself big, make noise, never run. I'm really good on making myself big, but it actually has slowed down my run. I would fight a Care Bear for you, says Debbie. I have a Care Bear hanging from my window in my car, on my rearview mirror. It's a lucky Care Bear for metal detecting. Gators aren't a problem, just running zigzags. I don't think I could do the Florida thing. I get so distracted by things that would be on the water's edge, and I would be in a gator's mouth in no time whatsoever. Had black bear burger once, was very good. I've never eaten bear. I've heard it's more of a greasy meat, but I've never tried it. Okay, I saw some comments in there that, let's see. Greg McNeely says, recovery addict, hate to break it to you, but you're actually talking to simulation bots. I'm talking to bots. Yep, it happens. And I'm having a wonderful conversation. I'm loving it. Let's see. Did you guys see the video of the guy getting chased by a mountain lion? Katrina, that video I'm thinking of, was that American Fort Canyon or something in Utah? The guy's headed down like a dirt road, and there's a mountain lion that's like stalking him towards him on the road, and he's backing up and he's talking to the mountain lion. And at one point, the mountain lion does it sort of like the attack, sort of the lunge attack, where it's like, man, that I just about peed my pants. I just about peed my pants watching that, because I've been up there. I've been with mountain lions. I've been very close to mountain lions on my own up in the mountains. And the thought of them looking at me and thinking, that looks tasty, not pleasant. Let's see. Do mountain lions attack? They do. Not very often. Generally, a mountain lion is more scared of you than you are of them. But occasionally, they, especially if they're protecting their cubs, you could be in for a fight. And if you've ever tried to bathe a cat that doesn't want to be bathed, Katrina could probably vouch for this. Imagine a mountain lion being that energetic, just nothing but nerves and energy as it's clawing you to pieces and biting you. It's not a pretty thing. Where's the Learjet heading? The Learjet was going to Montana, Greg, and we ruled that out. We think we've got the right plane right now. It looks like actually they've taken a turn to the north, and this is actually good. That means it's probably landing in Pullman. So the latest on this plane, they're really moving. Let's see if we can do a 3D view. How do we do that? Let's see what it looks like from Brian's perspective as he looks out the window. So we load the view. Oh, he's got some mountains coming up, so a little bit of that happening. Now this plane is not the actual plane. This looks like more of a. I'm not sure if that's a Beechcraft or a Cessna. We know he's in a different plane, but this is probably his view out the window. That's out the cockpit. So these circles on the ground, for those of you that don't know, out west where there's a lot less water falling from the sky on a regular basis, a lot of the farmers have to irrigate their crops, and they'll use a pivot. So it's like a sprinkling system on a big long pipe with wheels, and it will spin in a circle with a hinge in the middle, and it will go around in a circle. So these circles of crops are where they have a pivot that waters all that. So out in the east and other areas where they get a lot of rain, there's very little irrigation needed. But that's why you see around here on the ground a lot of these circles. So this would be a quarter pivot there, and half pivots and circles. It can be different sizes. They can be some pretty good sized fields. But as it gets close to the mountains, obviously the terrain's going to prevent the farming, so you're not going to have as many of that. But he's going over some mountains here now. So we'll stick with him here for a little bit as he's flying this direction. Let's zoom in a bit. There we go. Okay, so we're going to watch him there as he's flying towards Idaho. Courtney says, things always seem to happen when a recovery addict is in a meeting or just sends a stream. It's like everyone knows the world is out to get me that way. They know my schedule. I have one meeting a week, right? Typically I have one meeting a week, and that is the time when everything goes down. That's when juries come back and the verdicts get read. In this case, it's when Brian's going to land at the airport. I was going to cuddle an opossum on my porch last night, but it hissed at me. We see opossums on the side of the road all the time, just sleeping on the side of the highway. I assume they're sleeping. They're playing dead. Let's see. I carry bear spray in my truck and at home. Bear spray is good stuff. I'll tell you this. In the scouting program, I was a scoutmaster for a while for when my sons were in the program. And before I became a scoutmaster, I went as just a dad on a trip, and we started in Utah and hiked into Wyoming around Bear Lake. And we ended up in let's see, there's a little almost like a glacier-fed lake up there by that cave. Let's see, Bloomington Lake is where we went. Bloomington Lake. And so it was a fun little hike. I permanently damaged my feet because I had the wrong shoes there. But as we go up there, the rules are no firearms, right? And the scouts, they're like, you can't have any firearms. They're not allowed. You can't just bring guns on scout campouts. The two don't mix very well. Well, me going up in the mountains, I'm like, look, if you want me to go with, I'm bringing my gun, okay? I'll carry it concealed. No one's going to see it. So I tell the scoutmaster, this is my condition. If I'm coming with, I know you've got your bear spray, and you're like, oh, you just hold still, and they're not going to attack thing. I'm not comfortable with that, and we're going up in bear country, so I'm going to have my version of self-defense, which is locked and loaded type thing. So he's like, oh, that's fine. No problem. Just don't let the boys see it. Don't talk about it. I'm like, that's great. So we show up and we start hiking, and like 5 minutes into the hike, we stop and we have like a bear aware type chat with the boys. And he's like, so so boys, what happens if you see a bear, and everything, and we're going through, and he's like, and the boys are saying, you don't run, this is how this is what you're supposed to do. And he's like, no, that's all wrong. Just tell Scott and he'll shoot it because he's got a gun. I'm like, why are you telling him I've got a gun if it was supposed to be a big secret? And now, yeah. Anyway, so we did not see any bears, which is good because shooting a bear is not a good plan. Especially if you have a pistol, and the caliber I had probably would just made it very angry. But let's see. I carry bear mace, but mostly for tweakers. I thought he was in the air 8 hours ago. What happened? And was the flight diverted for a quick stopover in Timbuktu? What happened? Great question, Lee. We know that he was transferred from one facility, from like the Monroe County Prison, to another facility about 6:20 this morning. That's when he was transferred out. But he didn't actually take off and get in the air for quite a few hours after that. And then he has had 2 stops. So he's had about an hour or so of ground time so far as well. So it just adds up to being a long day of flights. He's probably going to have really bad jet lag for his hearing this evening. I want to cuddle things that are not meant to be cuddled. I cannot help it. It's my fatal flaw. Alexis, that might just get you. Let's see. Pauline says, Ari, can you do a poll? We have not done a poll in several days. Do a poll if BK did this alone. Okay, we'll put the poll together. Give me just 1 minute to type that up. Engage, start a poll. Do you think BK acted alone? And by acted alone, I'm talking about the actual crime, not any cover up. Okay, so the poll's up. Good question, Pauline. Thanks for that. Bear spray is about 70% stronger than OC spray. It's some nasty stuff. Let's see. Julianne says, recovery addict, it's Thursday here now. Good job. I'm an insomniac. I'm sorry, Julianne, but thank you for joining. We do have some fun here. I'm sorry that our daytime is your nighttime. Landing? You say it's landing now? Let's take a look at what we've got. I still show they're flying at 22,000 feet. It's just the mountains. That 3D view is not very good. It doesn't actually show a really good. They're right about in the middle of Wyoming right now. So maybe if they fly a little bit slower, we may be able to have my meeting, and then I can come on for the landing. Because the meeting's going to be in about an hour, and I think they'll still be in the air. If I tell them I've got to make it short. Okay, so he's been in the air how long? When did he take off? Oh, it's not going to show us that. I probably should have timed it. Well, okay, so it's going to be close. The plane is headed straight for Pullman. It is. That's good news. That means he's probably on that plane. I don't think they're going to play the shell game and fly a plane there for no reason. The plane stopped for brakes along with changing pilots due to flying time. I'm not sure about the pilots, but they did definitely stop for brakes. We know in Illinois and then once again in Rapid City. Jerkface gets a private plight. He does, but he's probably not enjoying it, knowing where he's headed. The Adirondack Mountains in New York have black bear, wolves, and believe it or not, huge black cats like panthers. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the DEC, it sounds like DEC is like the wildlife Department of Wildlife or something. Charlie, I've seen animals in areas where they supposedly don't exist. I've seen wolverines where they said wolverines don't exist. I've seen some poisonous, like orange diamondback snakes, where they say orange diamondback snakes don't venture that far away. It's weird, but yes, there are some animals out there, and if you get out and about in nature, you're going to run into them. I'm glad you're still safe, because those are some scary animals to see. Let's see. He's going to land about 7 or 8. That's bad news. My meeting's at 8:15. I think his father was involved afterwards. Jared, I think his father probably asked him a question about this, and he probably deflected the conversation much like he did with the police officer. I think he started talking about something else, and that's why they're talking about this SWAT case. So I think he did that same trick to his dad. So I don't think his dad's involved. That's what I'll say. I can't see that. The family, they seem like just a good family that they're trying to support their son, and they just can't imagine that this was done by him. Okay, we need to finish up the poll here. So if you've got just a moment to vote in the poll, we need a maybe option in the poll. I might vote. I understand. I'm trying to force you to make a decision, and a lot of you are really smart, saying, "Hey, I'm waiting till I hear the evidence. I'm waiting till I don't make judgments during this is so early on in the investigation," and I completely understand that. If you don't want to vote, this isn't binding. We're not going to hold you to it by any means. Let's see if they stick the landing. Let's see, we have rain happening. It's turned to freezing rain. We're supposed to get anywhere from 4 to 7 inches of accumulated ice. We have a weather warning now. Toxic. That's rough. 4 to 7 inches of ice. Okay. I also think Kohberger knows more witnesses to the crime, more loose ends. So, Mr. Upper Torso, there was an allegation, basically. There was some news, a rumor, I'm not sure if it was ever verified, where apparently when he was arrested, he asked or said something to the effect of, was anyone else arrested? Am I the only one that's been arrested type thing? Which is sort of what everyone's sort of basing the idea that there might be other people involved. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, by the way, just to see how this looks. The poll comes up. The numbers show that 78% of us think that BK acted alone. 22% say no. Had 132 votes. And that's one of the reasons that the story that he might have asked about other people being arrested. Also, if you look at the survey that he put out when he was studying at DeSales University, and those questions he asked, sort of getting in the mindset of a criminal, to me that sounds like he's actually like not grooming, but sort of like finding people who have a similar mindset and saying after this is over there will be more follow-up and things like that. That would point to possibly more people being involved, but I do think he acted alone on this. I think too many people knowing a secret doesn't make it a secret. I guess the saying is what? 2 people can keep a secret if one of them is dead. My friend in Idaho said no local. My friend in Idaho said no local news info. Gag order in place. She's 2 hours away. Yeah, they have nothing to report because nobody is talking to them, but they will have some local news once he lands. For sure, they're going to be covering that. As well as the court paperwork that's going to start coming out as the process proceeds. Will there be snacks for BK on the plane? Goldfish crackers and Cheerios? I don't know. I'm sure they'll feed him for sure. There's I'm not sure if he got a food before he took off or once he lands, but they're obviously not going to make him go hungry. They can't treat prisoners that way. When they're responsible for them, they have to feed them and keep them safe and healthy. I think the parents and fam knew something was off, but I don't think they ever guessed why. Just chalked it up to finals. Yeah, I think, like I said before, I think if they started asking the questions, he probably deflected it, and I don't think they know about it. I don't think they knew before it happened. Suzanne feels otherwise, and that's cool. We'll find out eventually, I think. Regarding the poll, says Michelle, I'm not ready to give Pops a pass. He might not have participated, but sure strange in the aftermath. Yeah, what we're hearing is that the plan all along was for him to drive him back. Like they planned this well before school started. Okay. You've seen all those rare animals, but I lived in Knoxville. Ever hear of a hot turtle? Scientists from Oak Ridge National Labs told us about them in school. A hot turtle, I've never heard of that. Are you pulling my leg on something? I've never even heard those 2 words together. foreign animals on the train. Jim Bob, I see that there. I think the father asked questions also. I'm sure. I'd love to hear his side of what that drive was like coming across the country. Max says, I have outran a bear. Was there someone else with you who didn't? That's my next question. The dad had to be suspicious. I would be suspicious if I was him. Let's see. I think I just got a text from Mars. Thank you very much for that. I think it was about another case, but thank you for the update. Jen, I think it works capitalized. I was going to say it might have to be lowercase, but it did work for you. It's possible his dad thought he was in trouble for something but didn't know what for. Yeah, and being across the country, they might not have been following the case as closely as we have. Mr. Upper Torso says, recovered. Yeah, I heard that. I think he'd be one of the first to know if they announced other arrests. I think he was following the story. I think he's blowing smoke personally. Could be. Did the police go to the home to quiet a party before they were... Bella, I don't think there was a party that night. Maybe I'm wrong. If somebody has that information, please correct me. But I don't recall there being a party at that address at night, the night before the murder. I think that some people were out at various places, whether it was at a bar or a taco stand or things like that, and they were out pretty late and then came home late. Hot turtle's a radioactive turtle. Is it naturally radioactive, or is it because it was too close to Chernobyl type thing? It's already after 4 p.m. in Moscow. I have a feeling they won't arraign him until tomorrow morning. Well, Denise, if they do wait, I don't know. That's good and bad at the same time. Okay, so was anyone else arrested? Was a quote from another SK. I think he was being smart aleck. So, yeah, there might not be any truth to that. I think for sure the police think there's no one else involved and that he's the one responsible. Okay. If they
going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
No, it's too late for that. If they take breaks off the plane, does he get off the plane, or do they stay on the plane? He gets off. We saw in Illinois they got off the plane and he got to go inside the little building. It was just like a little regional airport. Like at one of those small airports you drive by where the runway is just right there, and there's a couple buildings and some airplanes out on the tarmac. We're not talking like big airliners with baggage handler type stuff. It's all really small planes. So you basically open the door to the planes and walk right down on the tarmac. Looks like he's going to almost cut into Montana here, right as he's getting close to the Yellowstone border. Just going to zoom in here on him a little bit. He just passed Graybull, Wyoming. He did fly right over South Bighorn County Airport. Did not stop. He's continuing at right about 22,000. He's dropped down a little bit, so maybe there's some clouds and stuff that he's working with. But he's climbing back up. He's back up to 22. Might be having some turbulence, actually, because he dropped about 200 feet per minute, then he's back up 64 feet per minute. So he's going up and down a little. Might be a little bumpy for him. Rattling the chains, so to speak, while he's flying, but we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, I think Dad may have helped after the fact, but not in the actual murders. Definitely, the dad wasn't there. The dad was in PA. You've missed so much already today, Ashley. You can catch up. It's fine. Maybe the delay was no vegan snacks on the plane. It's an indication of a radio. Okay, so I'm just catching up to the chat here, Wooden Toad. I scrolled back up to get some things I had missed. The hot turtle is an indication of a radiation leak. So are turtles like more immune to radiation? They can be radioactive and not die. Okay, hang on. Oh my goodness. Somebody's pulling my leg. Do not Google hot turtles. Says I'd rather be day working. Somebody, don't Google that. Let's see. Cake Spoo is sending me a million texts right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, she's liking my tweets. That's what's happening. Okay, so you guys, Wooden Toad, you're trying to get me in trouble, is what you're doing. I'm not going to Google that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to fall for that. Hey, Cake Spoo, thank you. It's buzzing the phone every time you like something. That's great. Let's see. Did anyone see the Ted Bundy, Bryan Kohberger side by side? Super creepy. As far as the eyes and the look, is that what you're talking about, Kitty Cat? I think he'll be arraigned tonight. I think so as well. The police have said basically as soon as he's on soil, in order to to hold him and to follow the rules. I've got to stop these. My phone's buzzing nonstop. I feel like he's been flying all day. It's taken a long time. So they're flying him in a hot air balloon. It's about that speed. We've got this little plane, the Pilatus PC-12. It's probably a 10 or 12 passenger plane. Probably 1 or 2 seats on one side, or maybe 1 seat with a row in the middle, 1 seat on each side. But they are in the middle of Wyoming right now. It's just coming close to Cody, sort of. I think they got a few miles away from Cody still. And it's sort of headed up to the corner, might cross over into Montana before he hits the Idaho border in the Yellowstone area. So he might miss Yellowstone and all the beauties of Yellowstone in winter. He won't get to see Old Faithful one last time. That's a little bit further south, but it's all good. So we're still following him there. There he is. The police at the party was 2 weeks before. Okay, that makes sense, J-Kid. Thanks for that update there. R.A., who said that? My phone is blowing up right now. Was it him or his father that was afraid to fly? The officer asked the question, afraid to fly, and I didn't hear the response. There was sort of some laughing there, so I think that was sort of like a joke. I don't think they actually are afraid to fly. Did he have to take the chain belt off to get through security? No, they would not unshackle him for that. He'd be taken through basically the way pilots get on the planes, where they can sort of bypass security. And this small airport, he's secured before he gets there. He's been searched and kept safe. How does he go to the bathroom on the plane? Not much room for 2 of those on the small plane bathrooms. Do they uncuff him? Real question. Lee, he does not. I believe that plane does not have a bathroom. It may, but I doubt it. I do think they will do something with him tonight. I think they will read him his charges. He'll make his initial appearance. Got kids coughing in the hall. J-Kid says, what's the burner phone number again? Anytime you want the burner phone, just go ahead and do what Tater Tot did here and put !burner in chat, and I'll auto-reply with the number. But there it is. It is 801-513-1160. It is silence, so I just got, let's see, 2 hours and 17 minutes, says Pauline. Landed in 2 hours and 17 minutes. That's good news. That's good news, because that means I'll be done with my meeting and we'll be able to come back right on time to follow this. Called for noise in August and September. It was a bit of a party house, but it wasn't that night. There was a suggestion that when they landed, he went to the restroom. He definitely did go into the building that sort of has those sort of facilities, like bathrooms, water, treats, like snacks type of thing. Not to be an alarmist, but 235 million Twitter users' emails were hacked today, says Chandra. That happened. Chandra, I was, I guess I still hold a DoD clearance, Department of Defense clearance. And as part of that, there's an investigation that goes on that is the application for that investigation was about 65 pages long, and they need to know everything about you, everyone you've ever talked about, every address you've ever lived at, people who would know you at those addresses. It's a very, very in-depth application. It needs social security numbers of everyone you're related to. You know, there's a ton of information there, and that's sent to a department where they do a very extensive background check on you, sending people out to all those locations, even foreign locations if you lived abroad like I had, and questioning people about me, and guess what? That government organization got hacked, and my information was some of the information that was leaked out, possibly to the Chinese government. You know, a foreign government probably got it. So somebody accessing Twitter is small potatoes compared to what they already have on me. I caved and I Googled the turtles, and I got a bunch of turtles sunbathing on rocks, says Tag. Well, hopefully you've got Safe Search turned on, because apparently there might be something else. But I'm not sure. I'm not going to risk it. I love Wyoming. Me too. Who said that? Found you on Twitter, says Tag. I am on Twitter. I think all my social medias are some variation of Recovery Addict. I am on Twitter. I'm on TikTok, but on TikTok I sort of make little goofy videos. I've actually gone pretty viral on TikTok with one video over 16 million views, which equates to, I can tell you, about $500 as far as monetization. It would be much different on YouTube if I got 16 million views. I'd be riding in style if I had that. This is a slow rider. They're going to do it on the cheap, taking turns flapping their arms. Really, someone's out the back going, blowing the plane along. I want to feel like a pilot. All I have to do is a quadruple murder. Stand back flight simulator. Yeah, it's not the best way. You only get one flight if you do that. Here's a video of a mama bear and cubs following a man on the trail. I'll watch that here in a bit. Thanks. The burner phone's blowing up. You guys are sharing me all sorts of great stuff with me. All right, that came from Kathy. I guess her husband is a pilot. I saw that text come in. I'll check that. I'll probably watch that during my meeting, Pauline, quite honestly, if hopefully no one who's going to be in the meeting is listening right now. But I'll probably check that during the meeting. RA After Dark. Yeah, that's when it gets a little risque here. We still keep it family friendly, but it's good. What was hacked? I missed that. We heard somebody was saying that Twitter got hacked, which, that's what happens when you fire everybody at your company. It's hard to keep things secure. So the Twitter hack made me a patsy for all the buffering this evening. I consider myself exonerated. Well, great, Michelle. You did a good job. You fixed whatever problems we had, and it's going well. Man who is guilty starting the bear stories. Mac, who is guilty starting the bear stories? I started one. I don't know who brought it up first. Share Bear says, Recovery Addict, hubby and I found the bourbon pickles. Yay. Share Bear, if this is your first time trying them, let them set in the fridge. I know you want to just open the jar and I'd give them a taste right away. They are so much better cold. They're crispier. They're good. Those who are new here and wondering why I suddenly start talking about pickles on a law and crime type channel. I love pickles, and I found the best pickles in the world, and they're sold at Walmart under the Sam's Choice brand, and they are the spicy maple bourbon pickles. They're $3.84 for the jar of the best pickles you'll ever have in your life. And one day I hope they sponsor the show. I tapped on Recovering AA Guy first and had to follow. I felt bad. Here in a second in search. That's what happens when I choose a name that sounds like I'm recovering from an addiction, like Recovery Addict. But I did, and it's actually a good group. Of all the people I could be lumped in with, those that are fighting addiction and facing that battle and doing amazing at it, they're a good group of people to be associated with. So hopefully they'll allow me to keep my name here and be associated with them. It's just been brought to our attention that the chatter has repeatedly asked for the link to Discord. Well, I was away, and they are upset, and I felt ignored. If I'm away, can someone please keep an eye out? Yeah, I think people have been posting it. I think you're okay. Charlie's shared it as well, and thank you everybody for doing that. We'll get them pointed over to Discord for you, Toxic, for sure. Let's see. Bella says, once Evil Psycho stands before the judge is 24 to 72 hours, depending on his defense attorney and him meeting to go over the discovery. Then the gag order will be lifted on the probable cause affidavit. Bella, I'm not sure about that. I believe the probable cause affidavit is not subject to the gag order. It's not the court is not one of the people that are ordered to not release things, and by Idaho law, it will be released as soon as he's charged. So there would have to be the judge sealing the documents to prevent that to go forward, and the judge hasn't done that. The gag order is just saying you can't talk about it. So it's sort of like a seal, but I think it's different. So I think we're still going to get that on time as we expect it. The discovery won't happen until after he's charged. So we need this probable cause affidavit first to be basically read to him and presented with that. And that will have some of there will be some discoverable information in there, but the actual discovery, the actual evidence and everything, once he's charged, that's when the defense attorney can request all that evidence and start getting that. And there probably will be a lot, especially considering how many tips there were. Lots of stuff. My first RA after dark. It's actually pretty dark in here, a little too dark for my camera. So we're getting a little bit of a little bug chatter on the screen, if you see that here. But it is dark over here in North Carolina. Let's see, where are we at with the plane? I was just showing you a minute ago, but I wasn't looking. So we're getting closer to Yellowstone. I think we're near the border. Let's see, we're just north of Cody right now. Which, if we do a 3D view, can he see the mountains from where he's at yet? The Tetons and all that? Yeah, so he's just starting to get into the mountains. That's pretty cool. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Where are we at with the rest of this?
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Not tonight. It's too late. It's too late. We can't go there. If you see a turtle on high ground, a flood is coming. Turtles know things. They really do. I was actually out metal detecting with a couple of really cool guys. They're on social media. One of them is I know I'm about to say his real name, and I want to say his channel name instead. Aquachigger. Aquachigger's channel name. I was out with him. I was out with Swamp Critter, an Aquachigger, and I forget the third guy's channel name. But 3 YouTubers that do metal detecting on the East Coast out here, and we're in an area that had a sort of like a collapsed mine entrance, and it was almost like a crater. Okay, it was just a deep hole, and it was just a drop off on the sides. And we're looking at that and looking down, and at the bottom of this, there's a turtle. Okay, and there is no way this little turtle can climb up these sides because it's a sheer cliff all the way around. So he's living, I don't know how long. He might have been living his whole life down there in this hole where he probably fell in and can't get out. So we're like, this turtle deserves a better life than that. So we got some, a method to lower somebody down into there and rescue the turtle and brought him up and put him on the high ground. Because that would just suck for the turtle to always live. It was probably big enough. He probably could survive in there just fine. But there's so much more to life than that little hole. So we rescued that turtle. Let's see. Where are we at? I just lost my place. I can't even find pickles here in Australia, let alone spicy maple pickles. Cakesboo, you might have to spend the big bucks and try to order online through Amazon and see if they'll ship them internationally. I don't know what the duty is as far as customs goes. My video is super delayed. I just realized that. I'm not sure why, but all right. I'm not sure what the customs would charge you to let pickles into Australia, but they're good. Just ate 6 of those pickles. They are so good. That guy, welcome. Good to have you here. Late but with this excuse, got some spicy bourbon maple pickles. They're really good. I'm still hoping to get the URL for the Discord place. Sparky, it's right here. It's right below you. Did that work? Join us on Discord for everything true crime related. That's the link. If you're seeing that, if you're not getting that, let me know. I'm way behind on chat, so you're probably already on Discord and enjoying it. Justin McCullough. Did I say that right? I said, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that plane to hear the awkward conversation between Bryan and the officers. Yeah. What'd you do this weekend? Well, I kicked down some guy's door and threw a flashbang through his windows, and then I arrested him. That's what I did. How about you? You're correct, Addict. If I'm correct, it's because somebody gave me the correct information. I don't take credit for that. Okay. All right. It needs more bees on the background. I'm sorry. I didn't know there was a 3D simulation. It's not the best. It doesn't really put things in perspective as they should be, and it's sort of weird, but it gives you an idea of at least what it like top down, what it looks like from the sky. I think they're all window seats on this plane. Honestly, I think there's like a center aisle and maybe 2 chairs on one side, 1 chair on the other, or maybe just 1 chair on each side with an aisle in the middle. What area of North Carolina in? I'm near Wilmington. I'm not far from you. I'm up near Mr. Beast, near Greenville. So we're not far away. You're a lot closer to the coast than I am, Justin. And Wilmington's beautiful. Love that area. I do a lot of metal detecting down near Atlantic Beach, that area. Indian Isle. What's that called? I can't remember. Just south of Topsail area. Great evening, beautiful people, and late. Yeah, it's okay. Good to have you here. Sparky, did you get the Discord link? We want to make sure that worked for you. Now I feel like one of the cool kids. Okay, it worked. That's good to know. And Toxic, thanks for pointing that out. We're glad we could get him connected with that. Or him or her. I don't know, Sparky. I assign genders just willy-nilly. It's only 4:34 in Idaho, so it's still early. Yeah, but the sun's probably going to set here soon. It's going to be getting dark. So the video of him landing we're probably not going to get a lot of good pictures from that by the time he lands. Who just said that? I just had one. Let's see. Brian Enton is boots on the ground at the airport now since a live broadcast to the burner. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vixen. Who else had that? Red Pen says, I felt a little dumb when I realized you're the recovery addict is because you're a detectorist. No, don't feel dumb. I was addicted to video games at one time. A serious addiction that just about cost me everything that I hold dear. I could tell you stories of when I could not stop playing the computer even to drive the car. Let's put it that way. I had a laptop connected on, and I was literally playing games while I was driving. And if that isn't dangerous, the idea of what I could have done to myself or someone else is sobering now. So yes, I was addicted to video games, and that's a thing in the past. Got that under control mostly. We do play a little bit in moderation now, but I can't help but think that since he was wanting to get back to Idaho so fast, he must be on the plane saying, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" Debbie, did you get my message earlier today? How do you know you're not tracking a flying dragon? We think this is the right plane. We really do. This is one that's registered to the I think the PA police. We've seen Brian get off this plane at a stop along the way in Illinois, so we've got some pretty good information. This is the right one. Cool rescue story. Yeah, it wasn't me that did the rescue. I'm not afraid of picking up a turtle. I just wasn't the person who got down in the hole because I probably wouldn't be able to get back out again. Moscow's in Pacific time. They have 2 time zones. Okay, so what's I know a couple of you texted the burner phone. I'll have to check that in just a minute. Are we getting close to full flaps, Recovery Addict? No. We might have 2 hours is what I'm hearing. Because we've got to go basically across the whole map here on the left-hand side of the screen, right in the middle. That's our plane, and it needs to get all the way over up to the sort of the top area, right up here by the Lewiston Pullman area. So he's got a ways to go still, and he's only flying about 200 knots. Let's do some math. What cities do we have down here that we can use as reference points? Let's ask Siri here really quickly. How far is it from Gardner, Montana to Pullman, Washington?
Pullman is about 537 miles from Gardner by car.
And they're doing 165, 170 knots. So that might be about 2 hours, a little under 2 hours to land. by my math. I might be off. But so no full flaps yet. Izzy says, I saw you were live and I jumped in to see what is happening. Well, we found his plane. We found Brian's plane, and we're tracking it as it goes across the country here. That's where he is right here on this little bugger. Sorry, that's a bad word. I shouldn't use that one for all my UK friends. My apologies. But he's about to cross over the border as he's going sort of the corner of the Shoshone National Forest into Montana right now. So he's headed north just a little bit. RA is in a different time zone in chat. I am on the Eastern Coast. So yeah, right now it's 7:41. I've got half an hour for my meeting. I bet Brian isn't saying a word. I think he's also clammed up. He definitely doesn't have his lawyer there. He said he wants his lawyer there for questioning. I don't think they're going to try to get him to talk at this point. That could be bad. Okay, who is Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast is actually the largest and wealthiest YouTuber. He's a young man. I think he's in his early 20s, who started on YouTube doing video game like Minecraft type things, and he made himself quite popular by doing sort of spectacles where he was like, I'm going to count to 10,000 on stream, and he does just weird things, and now as he's made and now he makes millions on YouTube, millions and millions. He does things like he'll say he's got a pile of $1 million, and he invites some random people to come put their hand on it and says the last person to take their hand off gets the money type thing. And he actually does it. It's not a scam. He orders pizza, and the pizza guy shows up, and instead of a tip, he gives them the deed to the house. It's like, congratulations, thanks for the pizza. This house is now yours. So he's got enough money coming in that he can do even bigger and bigger videos, and it's a little different. His style is probably a lot of people here in chat wouldn't appreciate his presentation. It's sort of, it's different. That's all I'll say. But he is actually a very generous guy. For those that live in the area, he does a ton with philanthropy. He does a ton with food banks, with schools, with getting clothing and coats and things to school children, and just there's a whole multiple cities around here that are provided with all the food they need for the food banks through his philanthropy arm, the company that he has. But he's a great guy that way, and he still lives in just the same house. He lives small. He doesn't live like he makes millions of dollars a month. But he does things where occasionally, like, he'll say, I'm going to buy everything in this store, and everyone who comes in, when they come to check out, they're going to find out that whatever they got was free. And he'll do that. He is the largest YouTuber, he's a pretty good guy. We are sure this is the right plane, that guy. We have gone over that a couple times, but we'll do it again for sure. The plane stopped in Illinois, and a photographer was on the ground, was able to capture Brian being escorted out of the plane in shackles and into the buildings there as they stopped for fuel and maybe a bathroom break, and then continued on their way. So we've been tracking it. This plane left Scranton, Pennsylvania, flew to Illinois, then flew to, I forget where we just took off from a little while ago, Rapid City in South Dakota. Probably got fuel, another bathroom break there, and we expect the next stop will be in Idaho, in Pullman. So we're just right north. I think they're just on the edge of Yellowstone National Park right now. So they're on the Montana side though. Debbie says, Vixen, wow, sorry I can't see the first part of your name. I hope Recover Addict sees it soon. What did I miss? Vixen. What'd you say? I'm a little bit behind. Boots on the ground, sent the live broadcast. Let me see if I can pull up that live broadcast. Let's see. I'm missing that cable that I need. It's still at the building where I set up that meeting, so I'm going to have to try it this way. Let's go here. Look for News Nation. Do a live stream from here. Is News Nation on YouTube with that live stream? Is that what you were saying? Let's type it in this way. Sorry, we're gonna type this way so you see me type really slow. News Nation. There we go. And we'll go back to this. I still don't think Pullman, says V.A. Morris. It might be another another airport. There are a couple up there, but we will be able to watch the plane where it lands. Let me go down here. The most dangerous hotel in the world is off the coast of North Carolina, unless you, it's a useless but info per YouTube. Is that the one that's out there on like an oil rig or something? It's just sitting out there in the ocean. Just looked up SBM pickles. They are $13.74 on Amazon. Wombat Mommy, they're a ripoff on Amazon, but they have to make up the cost for shipping them. It's a heavy jar of pickles. It's a pretty good sized jar of pickles, and so that's where they're making up their cost. So if you can buy them in person, it's a much better deal. But if that's the only way you can get them, I would still say it's worth a try. Looking up my channel brings up a ton of treatment programs. Yeah, you'll get like TED Talks and everything when you search for me. But I love the name. I just can't stop. Let's see. Recovered. Thank you very much, Vixen. His ETA is approximately 1809 Pacific. Convert that for me. What is that Eastern time? My daughter-in-law works for Call of Duty company. I've got a friend that works for the Fortnite company. But I'm pretty much done with. I play a little bit of video games to keep my TikTok. I've got a management company on my TikTok account, but they require me to game for about an hour a month to keep my live stream key. So I do that, and that's about it. But usually it's just a game we can play with the phone. Debbie says, check the burner phone. Vixen said, boots on the ground. That's Brian. Let me look at what we've got here. Let's see, News Nation. I'm not seeing a live from News Nation right now. Let's see. Where are they at? No, I'm not seeing News Nation live. Let me check with and Brian's with News Nation. But he was flying ahead of this. I know he hopped on a plane and wanted to get out there, so he'll be there when they land. Let's see if anybody else is ready here. Let's see if Lawn Criminals, they're doing a Q&A. Still nothing live there as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm not seeing anything really live as far as out of Idaho, unless it's somewhere else. Maybe Vixen, you sent me is it like a Twitter live or a Facebook live? There are other YouTubers tracking the same plane, thinking it's Brian. Yes, Jim Bob, there are. As a matter of fact, it looks like there are 5,652 people currently tracking this plane just on this app alone. So a lot of us think this is Brian. Congrats then on your real recovery. I'm addicted to your show here. Thank you, Red Pen. I appreciate you finding us here. It's a fun group. This community is just amazing. It's hopefully it's changed my life. I will say it's been amazing. I've only been live streaming for a little over 2 months, and it's grown really fast, and it's been a lot of fun. I've learned a ton, and I have a ton more to learn. But you guys are super patient with me and helping me out, and we'll get there together. Let's see. Who else was 230 miles per hour is the conversion ground speed. Okay. Trying to catch up on chat. I'm a little bit behind, so I'm skipping through. So if I miss your question, please know that I try to read all questions. You do have to be a subscriber to talk in chat, but that's just to limit some of the trolls. I wish I could limit the trolls without making you be a subscriber. I want everyone to come here and just be able to have fun. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to be a subscriber. You definitely don't have to use a super chat to get my attention. Please just use like Tag did here. Use that the little @ symbol and say recovery addict afterwards. That way it raises it to a big orange flag on my screen, and I'll try to answer your questions. It was a Twitter live. Okay, that's why I missed it. I was looking over on YouTube, but I could pull up Twitter. I can't. I'm missing my cable, and right now we're using it for the flight tracker. I have 2 of those. Let's see here. Where are we at? So who said the time? who converted the time for me on the East Coast? Because I just struggle with that, with all the different time zones. How ironic that you refueled at Willard Airport, as it's the University of Illinois Airport. 8JA says, I'm off to work. I'll see your updates later. Thank you for stopping by, JA. I think I might have missed you because it's a few minutes ago that you said that. I'm trying to catch up. Weather Watch says, let's hit the like button so I can gift another membership. Recovery Addicts. When we hit 250 likes, a membership will be given. Well, Weather Watch, you're amazing. Thank you so much for your support. A true gentleman and a great supporter of the channel. Wombat Mommy says, my youngest wants to interact with you again tonight. Tell me what to say, Wombat Mommy. We'll do that. Check the burner for the link. Okay. CG, let me take a look at that really quickly. The burner phone. Who sent that? Here's a video. We got a mama bear. Okay, Brian Enton's gearing up to go live on News Nation. His Twitter feed is already finished, but he'll be live again. Okay, so here's the link. And I can't pull that up right now, but let me take a look. It looks like he's at the Pullman Moscow Regional Airport. So he's waiting outside that. And it is getting dark, according to the video he posted there. It's just a brief little video. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. So reported ETA is 18:09 Pacific time for the flight. So that puts it at for some reason I can't brain today. I has the dumb. I'm sorry. I just want 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. I'm gonna try to slip out of my meeting early so I can watch that. Stop the live to do News Nation. Okay, so that makes sense. News Nation's the big one. His live is just his own phone. I missed the countdown here. It looks like Weather Watch, you've already happened. I'm still back here saying it's 15 more subscribers to the giveaway, and you've done it already. You gifted 5 memberships. And CG in Texas, WV, Linda Hill, Tiffany Marie, and Jackie Smith were all gifted a membership thanks to Weather Watch. Thank you so much, Weather Watch, and please give him a big thank you. He's woohoo! Welcome. Do hit the exclamation point seat once you're a member. One of the perks, one of the only
Cable
perks.
Fund, seriously.
Who just Cable Fund? Seriously, do I have to upgrade my internet? Thank you. I'll get to that in just a second. I think that was Richard who said that, but I'm not there in chat. Once you're a member, you can hit that exclamation point seat command, and you will get ushered to the front row in this virtual courtroom of public opinion. And the view is fantastic from the front. On a globe, Richard says, Cable Fund, seriously, thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate you, Richard, for being here. You've been with the channel a long time. Appreciate your support of the channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much. Apparently, Apple devices don't allow us to buy or accept memberships. Yeah, you want to try to get on a computer, because I think you have to turn the gift option on so you're able to get a gift if it comes out. And then the actual who gets the gift is like YouTube has like a magic 8-ball, and they have this formula that nobody knows, and they use that to give it out. Thank you for entertaining us all. I do what I can, Weather Watch. Thanks for your great weather report this morning. And I appreciate you supporting the channel as well. I can't wait to return the favor as you get your YouTube up and going. We'll get you jump started with just some amazing people to subscribe to you. Let's see. He keeps asking about games, says Wombat Mommy. I missed some comments. I think, Wombat Mommy, I said I would interact with your little one, and I might have missed something before this. I don't know what games he's asking about. Like Minecraft type things, or I don't know his age. Teresa says, Lewiston says, hey, Teresa, thanks for finding us here. Hope you like it. This is a fun little channel. Am I going? I do have a meeting. I'm supposed to be at a meeting in 15 minutes, but it's a Zoom meeting, which means I can have it from this very same seat, but I can't do it the same time I'm live streaming here. So I'll have a brief meeting, and we'll be back. So if you want to follow us and with this same group, and we will keep following the news, as it happens, as the plane gets closer and lands. I'm going to try to get out of that meeting a little bit early, so we can be live before it lands. So you're welcome to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Then you should at least be notified by YouTube. Sent you the video on the mama bear, Jacob. Thank you. I'm going to watch that during my meeting, if that's all right. Let's see. I've got pickles, says CG in Texas. Love that. See, courts will be closed. The morning's very important. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to charge him right away, because if you look like Knoxville, Tennessee, for instance, that first arraignment, they do that 4 times a day. I mean, they'll do one at midnight, at 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever. They'll do arraignments. They'll just keep those things going so they don't fall behind. Let's see. Who put the mug in there? Toxic put there. The mug. We do have one item of merch. I actually have a couple more, but I haven't.
Just subject matter jurisdiction.
Not tonight. It's too late, man. It's too late. It's after dark. I have one item of merchandise, and it's this mug that says True Crime Addict. Sorry, it won't focus because there we go. It says True Crime Addict on one side. On the other side says Objection Overruled Grounds, which is a quote right out of the Darrell Brooks trial. But this is available. Right now it's only available on eBay. But that's the link that if you type !mug, you'll see that in chat. We've sent mugs to the 4 corners of the earth, really. We've had them in South Africa. We've sent them to Australia, New Zealand. I believe we sent them to Ireland, to the UK, to Canada. Sorry, I said Mr. Brooks, but that's who I know you as. They're wonderful little mugs, and you can get them in 5 colors. Honestly, I make 75 cents on each one, and so I need to find a way to make that different. I'd like to make it cheaper for you and more for me, but either way, right now it's just a great mug, and it's fun to share and show off that we're true crime addicts. Let's see. I live 20 from the airport, says Teresa. You're up there. You said Lewiston, right? So you're up there near all the action. Okay. I meant food-wise. Sorry, I'm behind on the chats, and I do apologize. I'm trying to catch up. He's 13 in Minecraft. Okay, so maybe we'll have to make a Minecraft server and just play with him sometime. We'll do a gaming day. He probably knows who Mr. Beast is then, because Mr. Beast started with Minecraft or Roblox, that sort of same thing. I've got some kids who like that game a lot. I'm not very good at it. The zombies get me all the time. I have not yet sent any to the judge. We were waiting, and she got just inundated with packages. I should send a mug to the judge. On iOS devices, you need to open the YouTube in Safari browser. I think that is a way around the whole no join, no membership type thing. It does feel like forever, 7, since we've had a trial. These live streams have been great, but I'm itching for some gavel action, gavel to gavel. Soon, it's these holidays. No judge is going to call a jury in and make him sit through the holidays. That's what we're facing. I do know we were going to have a case on Friday, actually, that started with the Judge Darrow with the eye drops case, and apparently the defense lawyer who's been arguing in hearings has now put in a motion to withdraw from the case. So that's going to cause some delays. We'll have to look at that and see what happens. But we've got some other ones coming up a little bit later on we'll be handling. But for now, we're going to focus on Bryan just for a bit until we get a little more information. Does anyone know if Idaho allows cameras in the courtrooms? Allow, yes, but it's up to the judge, Justin. So we are not sure yet. It's still too early to know what's going to happen in this case. It may be that when Mr. Kohberger gets to Idaho and sees the evidence against him, that he decides to plead guilty, and we end up just having sentencing. So we're not sure. Are we still going to hear the PCA gag order? I believe we are, Carl. We've got about 2 hours, a little less than that, until he lands, and it's going to be after that, because he's going to land. He's going to get hauled straight to the jail there in Moscow, and probably very soon after, as soon as he's processed in, he's going to be charged formally, where they're going to read him the charges, if not, at the airport. But sometime after that, after he lands, that PCA is supposed to be released, and we'll be watching. We were watching the website now for that. Right now, the only thing on the website about Bryan is regarding a failure to wear a seatbelt infraction that he had while he was there, which is all settled and closed. Polk County Sheriff's Office's latest news conference. Oh my goodness, that is gold. Polk County Sheriff's Office is hilarious. The way they handle that, the comments, the descriptions they have of some of the suspects. You do not want to be committing a crime in Polk County because they will ridicule you on social media. They'll blow up a picture and just make fun of you. It's hilarious. Send a pic to the burner phone, care package, so to speak. Thank you, that guy. I'll watch for that. I'm going to read it during my meeting. I'm going to have to wrap up right now. We will be back. We'll petition. We want cameras. My merchandise store is $12.99 for mugs plus $49 shipping. You get $4. Let me know if you need. You're interested. Hey, Cough Hiccup. I am interested. I obviously want a good quality mug. I like the quality we're getting here with the mugs we have right now. I think that's important to me. I don't want to be selling merchandise that is inferior, but as long as the quality's there and the price is better, that would be something I'd be interested in pursuing. PC-12 still flying strong. I'm going to take a quick look at that before we go. Yes, it is. It's just right next to Bozeman, Montana. So it's crossed over if Wyoming continued further north beyond the parallel that it's on, we would have just crossed the border out of Wyoming. But we're almost level with Billings in Montana. We're going to cross most of Montana, just underneath Helena and Missoula, and then cross over into Idaho. Looks like we're headed right to Pullman. I mean, that's the line. If you draw a line, Pullman is right there. So it looks like we're headed there. I have to take a break, or I'm not going to be able to get to this meeting. May not have room for cameras, but room for reporters. We'll get something. Okay, so one thing we know, Amber sent us the links that they're the arraignment videos from the court, which I believe is right upstairs from the jail. So this could happen anytime, even during the night. There may be an arraignment video, and we're going to watch for that as well. Michelle Chark says, finally about to be discharged from owning the internet. I'm whooped. It's a rough job, but we'll be back. We'll be back here as soon as we go live, as soon as the meeting ends. So let's do this. Let's play some music because we need some music to end. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for being here. We will be back when it's wheels down. We're going to be back for that moment. We'll be watching on all fronts to look for the documentation. That PCA is going to be in our hands sooner or later, but hopefully it's sooner. So hopefully you'd want to come back here and enjoy us tearing through that together. I appreciate everybody who's been here. Thank you to the mods. Thank you for Weather Watch. Thanks for the gifted subs. Thanks for all the people who did subscribe to the channel. You guys are amazing. This is a great little community. I say the same thing at the end of every show, and I mean it. Please, when you go home tonight, please hug the people you love. Smile at somebody, make their day just a little bit better, and stay safe until we go live again, which will be in a little while, a short while. Give me some time. We'll be back for Wheels Down. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in a bit.